Hello, hello. Welcome on into another Monday Live with the Whiskey Crusaders. I'm Will.
Not Matt.
Sarah's not joining us tonight. She is feeling much, much better, but she is waiting to hear back from her doc before she does a night of drinking. So we are hoped to be joined by Bobby from Bourbon Battalion here pretty darn soon, but we're having issues getting the link sent over correctly, apparently. But
I think
he might be joining us now.
He's starting. We've got device not connected, so we're getting there.
We're getting there.
Maybe,
we're making headway.
Maybe. Nope, we had it for a second there.
Matt,
we're getting
who do we
there.
got?
All right. Let's see here.
I'll greet our guests. Who do we got in the chat?
All right, hold on. My computer's doing crap. All right, we got Scotch Down Under. If you haven't checked out Scotch Down Under, check him out. Some awesome Lego and whiskey videos. We got Mike Franklin, Bourbon Baller. We got our buddy Wheels, Brendan. We got Jerry Black, Donald Ranch, RCS, Scott Moody. How's it going? Anthony. We got Anthony. We got Sugar Kitty, Whiskey Samurai. If you haven't checked out Whiskey Samurai, check out his. We got Cheech, Old Man Joe. Let's see, Ben Demon Hunter, Richie Z. Let's see here. What do we got? Miss anybody here? I saw Nick in here earlier. There's Nick. Scrolling through the lovely chat here. Robotic, how's it going? Daniel, how's it going? Andrew Sporrell, Mark G, Dram Band, thank you, man. Whiskey Man. Oh, Adriana, how's it going? All right, hopefully we're at the end of this thing here soon. Hey, Chris Beaton, and there's Bobby and Sam. Emily, how's it going? All right, Whiskey Encore. Hopefully we can get Bobby here. There we go. There we are.
Yeah,
we got you, Bobby. How's it going?
Oh, it was great. Doing great.
It's all good. No, hey, it never fails. It's just the way.
Oh,
no big deal.
Yeah.
And there's our buddy Mashbill.
How the hell you guys doing?
Because I haven't checked out his channel. Check out his too at the Mashbill. All right, so Bobby, introduce yourself and tell us what this fun experiment is. And I guess tell them about your channel, what you did prior, and all this good stuff.
All right, so Bobby Bourbon Battalion. Me and my brother have been doing this for a long time. I started tasting and doing stuff with my brother in '98. He's been collecting since '77, and the weird thing is that there was a big disconnect between me and my brother because he's 12 years older. So when I was in kindergarten, he went to the Marine Corps and set an incredible example of what I wanted to become, because he was just like that. And so when I first got to the point of meeting him, we actually were stationed together in Camp Lejeune in 1995 and started to reconnect. We finally, as brothers, got to actually know each other. And fast forward to, he was into bourbon and cigars, and I didn't do anything with bourbon and cigars. I drank beer and got drunk. So we started talking and going through this weird process.
That works too.
Yeah, of figuring this out. And so we went through this weird stage where he did cigars and he did bourbon, but he never did them both together. And then fast forward to he stopped doing it. Well, I didn't. And then we've reconnected. So normally I'm a 85% international traveler. And with COVID, all travel stopped. But the one thing, it's now I'm the guy spending time with him saying, hey, listen, you can take this bourbon and pair it with this cigar, because he never did them together. And we found that in our journey, I'm a high proof guy. He's a low proof guy. He's a 107 and below. I'm a 107 and above. That don't mean we don't cross over, but we kind of have that. And I was like, okay, well, how do I take something I really like that I can pour and make it something that he'll enjoy too? And that's where this all very first started from. Between thinking about that and I saw someone do an old fashioned, a smoked old fashioned, I was like, well, that's really pleasing to the eye. But, if I can make meat smell like smoke, there's definitely a chance I can make bourbon smell like smoke. And so I was like, well, how can I change this? So I started playing with it. I've been doing it for like 2 years. And I don't have any. There's no reason in the world anybody should trust me other than I've just been doing it, and it's fun. And so there's two niches, right? So like probably the biggest niche that I've been recently getting some information on is that every Wednesday I do a Wednesday Wednesday, and it's really like taking your drain pours and mixing them with stuff that ain't drain pour that turn out freaking delicious. And I don't think, matter of fact, I think is a wrong word. I haven't seen anybody blending whiskeys. They'll blend stuff to it, but not blending whiskeys. I literally had a guy tonight say, hey, listen, I have these barbecue ribs. I'm doing this. I want to blend. Give me a blend. And so I said, well, I'll take Ardbeg 10 and mix it with 1920 with a splash of 1910. And he went and did it. And he's like, dude, that was like on point. And I was like, I don't know why. I just really enjoy figuring out what I like and how do I make what I like taste to whatever I'm eating or smoking. And that's what that all started from.
Nice. So is what you sent us tonight blends, or are these smoked?
So these are smoked. These are things you have had that have been smoke infused. And it'll be really interesting, right? Because I'm really interested to figure out what they're going to. They've been cooking for a long time. I made these a long time ago.
Okay.
So there's two other people. I know that one of them I don't think they'll join on. I think they're going to watch and follow along. Jason C. at the Mash and Drum has this exact blend.
Nice.
I did this with Dusty Dan one-on-one, and I know Perry Ritter from This Is My Bourbon podcast has it as well.
Very fun.
But it's things you have had, and most people can find regularly. Nothing on here is something you can't find. So what I want is to go through, and I'm not really on a quest of trying to figure out what it is. I want you to just go through and figure out, what do you like? And it's going to be really weird. I can tell you one thing for sure. They are all bourbons.
Okay.
So, and this really was what it just started from, right? Just like this. And I'm not trying to be a blender. I'm not trying to be a smoker. I think though, because they've been cooking so long, there's a good chance that there's like at least one of them that you might get some like weird Scotch note, but it's not Scotch.
Cool.
You're going to get it. I'm almost positive you're going to get it on at least one of them because it's been cooking. That's a lot of blend time.
Well, I just poured A.
You poured A?
Okay.
Yeah.
We can do that. Yeah, I'll say our buddy Trev, the Bourbon Ranch is in here. If you haven't checked out Trev's channel, please do so. Mitch is in here, the Whiskey Weddle. Finally got a chance to get him in here, so that's always fantastic. All right, let's pull some eggs. Okay, so you say you're smoking bourbons. Tell everybody what you mean you're doing, like the whole process, how it works.
Yeah, so how it
what
works.
You're smoking it with.
Yeah, so it's weird, right? So I personally go through and I have been doing like different smoke chips. Maybe what you would do if you were doing a smoker and you were trying to do either like mesquite or applewood or whatever you're doing. And I take that and marry them together. So some of them are one particular wood smoke. Some of them might be two different ones blended together. So not only do I blend whiskeys, I'll blend smoke.
Nice.
Because with that comes weird taste. It's quite a weird thing. And there's certain smoke woods that you can go through and it'll proof it up. It'll make it taste hotter. There's other ones that'll make it taste lower.
Interesting.
And so I know that if we have something middle of the road and I want it to meet my palate and my brother's, it's two different pieces of wood. And so really all I did was I go to Lowe's and you can buy all the wood chips that you would normally do in a smoker.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, that smells cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's wild. And each of these is a different type of wood, right?
Yeah. So So every one of them. So without saying too much, there's different twists on everything you're going to have.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure so far I've been like 2 for 2 of something you absolutely probably would not like is probably going to be the one you like the most.
Okay.
So all I do a lot of people ask me smoke infusion, how do you infuse it? So I do not take like smoke and put a tube down into it and like have it bubble from the bottom. I don't do that. I do it more in the idea that I want the evaporation, I want the condensation, and then that's where that happens. So typically, depending on what size, I have different size volumes I do. You put it in, so I usually smoke the container, put the alcohol into it, and then as it sits sealed, it will evaporate. You'll have condensation happening, you have all this water, right? So you instantly are cutting proof. It's getting higher. It is not cutting it, it's going higher because it's evaporating. So you have to be really careful to shake it and get that water back into it. Because if not, you'll make it a higher proof. And I don't want that. I'm not trying to get a higher proof necessarily. I'm wanting the wood to do that. And so then I've been just playing for a long time. Like I have one over here cooking. I'll show you. It's like really funny. So I had someone, matter of fact, I'll even throw it out there. Dusty Dan. Dusty Dan has already done this. Dusty Dan Whiskey Reviews. If you're not following him, you need to subscribe to him, follow him. He's a good dude. And the shit you ever think you ever wanted to find and try, he has. So I know he sent me a 1972 Cream of Kentucky.
Ooh.
Yeah. So what it is, right? So in this one, right, he wanted me to go through and make him something for his barbecue. He said, I want this to pair with my barbecue. And so I went through and I smoked, and then I put it in here, and I've just been like, I stir it all the time. And this has been cooking since February 17th at 7:20 a.m. So that's when I did it, because I put labels on everything. And I had the Gunny come down. So if you follow my channel, you know the Gunny is my brother. We're both Marines. And I said, hey, listen, I need you to just smell this and then taste it. What's the first note you get? And so he did it and all that stuff. And he's like, barbecue. And I was like, perfect. That's what I was going for.
Nice.
And so, but I do know this. I've learned that the longer it's cooking, which I mean is just blending, it's sitting there marrying, it changes drastically, like drastic changes. Okay. So I expect that my notes that I had on these won't be the same as yours. Because I did this back when I first made it. You guys are about Matt, a month or two afterwards? It's been a while.
Something like that, yeah.
So, but it's weird. So sometimes you'll pick up smoke notes. You'll definitely pull smoke out of it. Sometimes you won't. It just depends.
Well, on A, I'm not finding the smoke that I'm finding on B.
Right.
Yeah, B is like dramatic.
Yeah, I did a double. I tried to go back. I was going back and forth for a little bit there, trying to just A, B, C compare. I did A, B, and C I've poured so far.
Yeah, B smells a lot like.
Smells like a pecan wood. Like it's not really heavy. B smells like it's mesquite. B smells like just really dense and hefty.
Yeah. Now B is the smoke that I use to proof mine up.
Interesting.
So now I will tell you this though, and this is important. A and B are the same juice.
Okay.
Interesting.
Smell nothing remotely
nothing alike.
And they don't taste the same, but it is the exact same whiskey. Nothing about it other than smoke.
Vastly
There's
different.
been nothing added to that but smoke.
Wow. That's wild.
Wow. And
It
then
reminds me of Spring 44 out of Colorado, which is I know you said this is a bourbon, but that's a single malt. This is wild. This is almost like super diesel-y.
Well, I made one that I had cooking for like 3 months, and I had my brother come down. He was like, "That tastes like Scotch." He's not a Scotch guy. I'm perfectly okay with everything. Listen, I can lick asphalt and I can go to maple syrup and just drink it. So I don't really have. I know for me though, if I'm doing Scotch, I want to stay on Scotch. If I'm doing bourbon, I want to stay on bourbon. If I want to blend, I'll do both, but I'll blend them together.
All right. Say hi to see Joseph Bravos in here, Donnie Linscat joined, Bill Henderson, Jen. So they're Jen and our buddy Larry at the Union 42 Bourbon and Brew in Union, Kentucky. If you guys haven't been to his bar or get a chance to go and stop by, too. One of the greatest bars in Kentucky, probably the whole country. So check that out. It's a great bar.
So Matt, I finally got like the wall done and everything. It's not like some clowny mirror that you look at all my blue lights in the ceiling.
It's always a plus.
Yeah. My wife is like straight up like, it was my birthday. Why did you buy stuff for you? And I was like, well, because, hey.
Because why not, right?
Yeah. Well, I bought you stuff too.
All right. Yeah, none of these really smell similar at all. They're just different. This is wild.
So overall, there's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 different wood smoke or smoke blends that will be present throughout the whole thing.
Okay, awesome. So Robotic wants to know does Irish have a place in your blending right now?
They do. I think that you can go through with anything, right? So when you're talking about, for me, my Irish, my go-to is either like a Green Dot or what else do I have here? I have a bunch of. I just usually look for anything that I'm tasting, and what do I want to have with it?
Okay.
For me, quite honestly, a lot of my blends are cigar blends. This particular thing I do with smoking, I don't really do towards cigar. I do towards food and proof point. So if you watch like on my channel on Wednesdays, I do Wednesday Blends Days. And it's probably, I'll be honest with you, I'll give all the credit in the world. It's something that I've done a couple times in the back end of like a skirmish. I do a skirmish thing. Everything is military for me. And I've done some flight, it's basically a flight fight, but it's not, it's just 2. I take 2 different things and fight them against each other. And at the end, I think, okay, this was really good. This guy won, but what would I do to blend it? And then I will sit there and like pour. Okay. And Jason C from the Mash and Drum said, hey, you got a knack for this. You should probably do like a blends day. And I was like, well, he said blend. And my brother's like, Wednesday Blends Day. And I was like, all right. And so every 7:30 on Wednesday, I do a Wednesday Blends Day before the Mash and Drum. I do my normal lives on Tuesdays at 7:30, where I'll go through, and I think tomorrow I'm going to do a cask blind, and I'm going to fight. I want to see if I get the same thing Fred got, because I have the Woodenville. The only thing I think that's a little bit different, I have the Woodenville cast strength, but mine's a single barrel. So it's going to be like, there's no doubt it's going to be all right. But I'm going to put it against A121. I'm going to put it against a bunch of different casks, and I'm just going to do a straight blind of casks because I'm a cask guy. And then most likely, if one of them doesn't make me feel like I can have it with a cigar, I will blend it because that's what I do.
Well, we're big proponents of blending. We typically take everything that we've had that night and blend them all together at the end. We have a really nice infinity bottle going of all the things that we've had on the channel. We're all about blends. We enjoy that.
Well, Will, that makes sense because you think right now, you see people bringing on Nancy, and she's really good at doing like the blends and all that kind of stuff. And you're talking about casking. Well, if you are Joe Schmuckatelli and you're out trying to find a really good blend, you're going to either hunt or pay out the nose. You probably have the stuff in your bar that you would consider a drain pour that you could blend with something else and make it pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And
or you just have things that could be better if other things were added. I'm a big peat head, so a little bit of peat goes in pretty much everything.
Yep.
One of my blends that I typically do is a base pour of Teachers, a little proof spike of Old Granddad 114, and then an Ardbeg of some sort or a Port Charlotte of some sort to just kind of bring a little bit of more peat home.
Well, I think that anybody, like most times, like if I get requests for like cigar blends, I say, hey, listen, the key element you're probably missing is the fruit syrup. There's always this weird fruit syrup that you want on a cigar blend because you're sitting there with either a Maduro wrapper that's oily or you're looking at a Connecticut leaf, which is really light. Somewhere in there, you're trying to catch this weird. So people, when you think of, and I know both of you guys have had cigar blends. Have you ever had a cigar blend that wasn't wine casked? No.
Yeah, you need the sweetness and the fruit, like you said, the sweet and the fruitiness.
So you know what? You know what my go-to blender is? I have one bottle that I use to blend all the time. It is not my base. I always somehow end up adding it.
What's that?
Cleveland Underground rye finished in black cherry.
Never heard of it. Is that like a little local micro distillery up there?
Yeah, there's a place called Cleveland up there, and they don't make like great stuff, but it's the idea of taking stuff that you may have bought because someone told you, hey, you should try this, and you try it, and you're like, okay, well, don't drink pour that shit. How do you make it something you do enjoy? So if it comes off too fruity, okay, well, or if it's low proof, how do I up it? Add something high proof, right? So my go-to high proof blend that I will medium everything off is Booker's, because the one thing as a Booker's, right, you're going to have the viscosity that's going to give you a big coat feel. It's going to cover your mouth, and your viscosity gives you that big finish, right? Because it's thick,
right?
You go down. So I'll put Booker's in something. Most any bean, but it depends on me. Usually it's Booker's for me because I want to proof it up. I want it higher. And I've done like some weird blends. I watched someone the one day is like, there's no way you're literally pouring your Weller into that. And I was like, oh yeah, I am. Because Weller Special Reserve gives a huge spice note, which makes no sense as a weeder when it's blended. It does not I have had multiple people at the HQ sit there and say, hey, listen, it's missing the gum tingly feel. Well, our Special Reserve does that on a blend, and I don't know why.
Weird.
Nothing about it says it should, but it does.
We had a question from the chat. Do you do anything with in barrels?
I don't do anything other than like little bitty barrels myself. Not like big barrels. I have like little barrels over here. I do like some weird casking on. And usually what I do, like before you put the spout in it, you have the hole. I have a tube that goes in there, and I'll push all the smoke in, and I'll seal it, and I'll let it set for a month before I ever put anything into it.
Interesting.
But the thing that's important, right? Because when you're using the little barrels, right? And what we're talking about like these guys.
Yeah.
Right? There's no way of charring the inside of that. Throw your smoke chips in there. Whatever you use to smoke, char them, crumble them up, and pour them in there before you ever pour your juice in there. When it pours out, it could be maybe 3 months old, but when you pour it into your glass, it will literally look like it's 2 years old. It will give you a color that says, hey, listen, I'm bourbon. That way you're not just pouring White Dog out or whatever. And I do a lot of White Dog. I do a lot of White Dog. I have local friends, local family that, enjoy doing things, and I enjoy taking their things and making them my own.
Exactly. All right. Emily wants to know, does it have to be red fruit?
No, it does not. It can literally be any fruit that you enjoy your palate, right? Because this is the thing. As good as I am at doing what I do what I do because it matches my palate. The thing I think that's important, right, as stewards, we have to help people understand that what you like is right.
Yeah.
And what you think will make it better probably will for you. So trust your palate. It doesn't matter what that fruit is you're trying to add to it. Just make sure it's something that sounds good to you. And what you're doing. Are you doing it for food? Are you doing it for smokes? Just think about that and blend. And listen, your first blend don't have to be right. I think on Wednesday Blends Day this last time, I ended up with 5 different whiskeys. That I was like, oh, this was this. What's missing this? And this is this, and this and this. I was like just pouring back and forth. And but I can tell you this, everybody in the whiskey world on the tubes knows who Richie Z is. And Richie Z is the greatest supporter of everybody in the tube universe. He did was it my last blend or the one before it? Whatever it was, he poured it. He poured it like 3 or 4 times and said that is like quite honestly one of my favorite things. And and I think, when you look at like Richie and Ben Demon Hunter and Daniel and some of those guys that don't really go out there, but they're there supporting you. They have so much knowledge in you, and it's you want to talk to them and listen to them because they're valuable. Because listen, I could talk to a wall until the paint crumbles off, and but that's my skill set, right? I lift heavy things, I smoke cigars, and I drink. So
it's a good skill set to have.
Hey, we all got our own things.
Exactly. All right. So we got another question here. This is to all of us, really. It's he needs guidance. He recently grew tired of Oudal. Love the regular 10, not a fan of Lefroy. What else should you? If you like those, I would probably try some of the Coloman wine cast finish. Try that. Maybe some of the Lagavulin stuff would probably be good. One of their distillers editions. I think that would probably be good for you. If you like a wine like that sherry cast finish, you probably like that more than likely.
I'd also caveat that with Port Charlotte, do the Scottish barley, the gray canister.
Okay.
It doesn't have the wine finish, but it's just beautiful and just very unique. And then if you could find any of Lasaig, Ledaig, they have a couple of different wine finishes that are really, really delicious as well.
Yeah, those are hard to find, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Hey, Eric, how's it going? And there's Whiskey Twaddle. How's it going?
So something I discovered tonight that for whatever reason I don't think I ever knew. The tube universe and the Instagram universe doesn't usually like overlap.
No, it really doesn't, because you have quite a few followers on Instagram.
Yeah, well, like I jumped on to
way more.
I was actually on. I wasn't planning on being on, but I was pre-gaming tonight. Everybody should pre-game. You got to get your palate opened up and all that stuff. And the Bourbon Bell, the Bourbon Bell is fantastic. She is probably one of the best Instagrammers I love doing anything, talking to or whatever. And I've never really actually been in something with the Bourbon Bell. We've just, I sent like this, and that dude Ryan is a really good dude. And tonight I was on a live stream with him. And I was like, well, yeah, I'm going to be on the Whiskey Crusaders. And they're like, who? And I was like, how do you not know who the Whiskey are you? Am I the only cross mapping person I know?
Probably because I have no idea who you're talking about.
Yeah, I know. But, so it's really funny. So there's a girl in the Instagram universe, and it's Tiffany. She's the Bourbon Bell. She's out of Maine, but she grew up in the South. You can obviously tell her. She's got her swang and her, all that kind of stuff. She's an Arkansas girl. Texarkana, and she's fantastic. She's absolutely, but they know their shit, and they're stupid funny. It's incredibly entertaining, and so, there's not very many women in the universe that will wake up and come on screen with their hair 6 feet in the air because they didn't do anything, no makeup run, didn't care, just talking with, but she's. So it's interesting to see the cross part, and but the love is the same. They love what they do. They love their stuff, and the more people you get to know, and the better you learn, the more you can learn from someone. Everybody can learn from someone.
Now you have, Daniel. Now you can subscribe to him too.
Who's that?
Whiskey Throttle.
Oh, Whiskey Throttle. I think I'm already subscribed to him.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed to about everybody that anybody's ever told me to subscribe to, because I just, we know the analytics are important and we know those kind of things. And, someday, like for me, I hope to get to the point that if any of that kind of stuff comes forward, that I'm not paying out a hand, that's great. Everything I ever get will go straight to the bar. I'm fortunate. I have a good job. My wife has a good job. She's not overly excited about the idea that I spend what I spend, but hey, I'm not overly excited that she buys stuff that I wouldn't buy. So she likes purses. I like bourbon. So, bourbon I can consume, purses I can't.
This is true. Valid point. Smoked whiskey for bacon. That probably would be really good. Hey, Mike Stahl, Ben Stahl.
I could do that.
That would be very interesting to have a smoke.
I absolutely know exactly right now. The second you said that, I instantly was like, oh, I know what I could do. I can do that.
Tom's right. Whiskey is generally cheaper than a bass boat. You're
That's
correct.
Damn sure. Especially if it's a good bass boat. Whiskey's cheaper than some of the lures and poles, let alone the boat.
Yeah, for real. Good point. Exactly. There are way more expensive hobbies you could have that cost absurd amounts of money.
Oh, yeah. Kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Freaking kids. If I had all the money I spent on worthless sports that never produced anything other than debt, I would have the most. I could run with you with a library.
Oh, God, that's
I
funny.
had 4 kids that were all swimmers.
Mm.
If you've never had a swimmer.
No, my kids are all in karate.
I had, you run into like these weird swimsuits for competitions. They're only good for like 3 competitions, and they're like $300 a pop.
What?
But after 3, they've starting to break down, so you have to buy another one. And I had 4 idiot kids that all were swimmers. Ugh,
Wow.
The hell kind of material breaks down after 3 swims?
Sounds like
Whatever.
shitty material.
Whatever they say it is, but I can tell you right now, I don't know if it's psychological. I think it's probably more psychological than anything.
Like a hose job.
But I can sit there. I can remember buying it for them, and they would go in there and like throw down the best time they ever did in their life. And I was like, I don't really know if it was the material or if it was just in their head.
That's wild.
But no, I had an all-American football player. And every year for high school football, his helmets and everything, we bought him his own. The school provided them. They didn't provide like the best concussion prevention and all that stuff. So we were like, okay, we'll go out, because I don't want him to come out of high football and be like, hey, Dad, and be like, before football. And then after that, I was like, who are you? And I was like,
yeah, that's bad.
So, but I have no regrets other than the bourbon world. I'm sitting there now thinking, God, I could have bought a lot of stuff.
There's our buddy Pat over my Whiskey Den, and obviously top shelf as Dustin over his channel. He says, I don't know, I drive a BMW, can tell you I spend way more a month on whiskey. Well, that's true for you, Dustin. This is
for Dustin, that's a true statement.
He's special though. So
he's special, and you know what? He's unfiltered, and that's the way he should be.
Right. He says, and Leo says, you're making me feel good about my bourbon spending. See, Leo, we're here to help.
Yeah,
Makes
you know what? And
DJ
with the stuff that you don't like, you can, I promise you, you can change it. Just take the shit you don't like and throw something in it you think would make it better. And if it's not better, throw something else in it that would make it better until you find out what it is you like. And I mean, it sounds like you guys are doing that too.
Usually Pete fixed just about everything. Although I will say the worst blend I think I've ever had, besides like cheap, shitty stuff, those are always awful. The Pappy blend was not good at all. Like that was the most disappointing blend I've ever had. I'm like, what the hell? That was not good.
Well, anything you put that Pappy 23 in is going to instantly taste like oak.
It just was oak, but it was just meh. It was boring. That was the route. It was just boring.
Yeah.
Right. Now I'm with you. I did me and the Gunny, we went through and we did this has been like a year or two ago. We did a Pappy blend, double blind. And we did 3 poor man Pappies and 3 Pappies that matched them. And we put them double blind. And it was really funny. He came out there and said, dude, I can't believe you not only got them all right, but you named them in order. And I was like, I don't even know how, because I didn't have them. But we went through, and you know what? My top 2 were actually poor man Pappies over the Pappies, and I named them all. I was not an overly excited person about now that's just me. For me, I'm just not I'm not a Pappy BTAC loving person.
No.
I like
Eric says that he's got
They're okay. There's some of them I've had. I was thankful that I had a buddy let me try his George T. Stagg, so I didn't go buy it. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it wasn't for me. I'm not. If I found an MSRP, I would.
Yeah, we did. We found an MSRP and we pulled the trigger. Adding PX sherry or adding really any sherry is always a good way as well. Great comment, Eric.
Yeah, so I think anything you go through and you have any kind of like a wine casking or a sherry casking or whatever you have, you can play with that a lot. There's a lot you can do with it. I can tell you that other than the Cleveland Underground rye, and the only reason I have this is my brother, he likes the Cleveland black cherry wood finished bourbon. And his son bought him the rye. And he's like, yeah, that shit's nasty. He's like, here, do something with this. And so he gave me a bottle of it. And I was like, tasted it. I was like, ooh. I was like, oh, wait, you know what? That's kind of medicinal. It's kind of like Robitussin. So that instantly gives me like that big, coaty, like sweet. I can knock that down and move it. And that's all I do. I move it. My go-to, like really favorite bourbon cask finish that I use for blending, Woodenville Port.
Ooh.
Now, straight up, I did a skirmish between the Woodenville Port cask finish and the Crown Royal XO cognac finish. And Woodenville just slapped it. I would pick. Oh, yeah, that's been nice since they did that.
Yeah, now the question is, will it actually happen? Who the hell knows? I mean, because, yeah, that's cheaper at the wholesale level, but will it actually get pushed to retail? Who knows? And if it will, it'll probably be a year and a half from now because it took about that long for the tariffs to kick in.
Right.
So I wouldn't expect any time remotely soon to actually see that. So we'll see, but I kind of doubt it.
Everybody in the chat, keep your blends coming. I'm going to keep on throwing them up on screen so that other people at home might be able to play along with your favorite blends.
Yeah, because, that's important, right? Because everybody has a different palate, and it doesn't matter what you're blending. You're blending to your palate. And you know what?
If it sucks, just send it to Ed. So you're good. It's fine. Ed will drink anything.
Someone identifies to your palate, well, then, you want to follow them, but listen to everybody else because the thing that's important for me, right? So when I look at like the Whiskey Crusaders and I look at like the Whiskey Tribe and I look at some of these people that cross boundaries between bourbon and scotches, it's important because you will evolve your palate and your palate's always changing. And I can remember the very first introduction I had to whiskey with my brother was a really shaken, chilled, neat Jack. Because I needed it chilled. I needed it neat. And I didn't want it like terrible. Like if I added Coke or water, it was just like so putrid I couldn't even drink it. And now I really prefer just like high octane freaking gasoline, everything, but I appreciate, and every now and then, oh, hold on. I'm with you. Oh, it's way up top, but I have it like right there.
That's one of the best values in high proof whiskey.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. I have it like right there. I was like, if I reach up that fast, I'm probably going to fall over. So
All right, so he blended Octomore 11.3 and Kilkerran 8-year Oloroso, and it was that does sound amazing, Larry.
Oloroso.
We can make that later tonight.
Oh,
I have 11,
really
but
nice.
I got one of the 11, so I'll have to look. That sounds awesome. Oh yeah, I got some of those samples left over. We can use those.
But the key thing, right, that we keep talking about when you talk about blends, what's the common thing you keep seeing? There's a casking.
Yeah, generally speaking,
casking, right? You have an Oloroso, or you have a sherry, or you have a port. There's a casking somewhere in there, and we know that the blends are like the thing, right? Everybody's looking for that blend. Well, let's face it, it's going to be hard to find some of those. You might have connections or you might not, but to the common person, how do I make a blend? Well, go look and find what you can find bottom shelf. There's a lot of bottom shelf stuff that you can make taste top shelf.
Agreed. No doubt about that. So Cohen wants to know, how about smoking some high proof white funky Jamaican rums?
No.
You tried anything like that?
I've done BC. I've done the Barracuda BC 18 year as a blend. It's a Caribbean cask rum. And because it's so dark and it's so rich and it's amazing. And I threw it with a weeder.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, I usually, for me, and to beat a dead horse, I'm a cigar blend guy. I'm literally having a cigar as much as I possibly can by the fire on the back deck, and I want my cigars to pair. Now, I'll do it with food too.
Yeah, we need to get these with Brian's barbecue. I think that'll be a fun time. That's for sure.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be your G. I think eventually, where are you at right now?
I don't know. I tried them all at this point and just enjoying.
You already have?
Yeah, I'm tasting H right now.
Yeah, you'll have to.
This G is like super fruity candy compared to the first four we've had.
Yeah, the first word I wrote is sweeter.
Yeah, especially G compared to H
of any of them.
It's like super sugary sweet, almost like a cotton candy.
So you both have tasted all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you like a little food for thought. A and B, and I said this earlier, A and B is the same juice.
Okay.
C and D is the same.
Okay.
And G and H is the same.
Okay.
So you have three different whiskeys.
Okay. It's a whole bunch of different types of wood and different.
They're just different smoked and different how long they were smoked.
Okay. So how long was each of these smoked for?
So A and B was smoked for 21 hours.
Okay.
C and D was 24 hours.
Okay.
And G and H was 42 hours.
Damn. So when you smoke it, so you just have it in a controlled setting and just let it sit there. Basically, it's under a big glass. It just sits in that little jar you showed us.
Yeah, so it's kind of like more like this, right? You have something like this, and then what I'll come down and do every single day is I'll move it. I'll just move it to try to get all the condensation back down.
Okay.
The whole top of it will just be condensation, and I need it to stay in there because if not, the proof's going to change. And I'm not trying to change the proof. Now you can do that, right? You can take something that, let's say you have something that's like you could literally just put like Elijah Craig small batch in here.
Sure.
With nothing and let it sit. And that condensation rises and you pour it out. Well, just the same as cutting by adding water, you're going to proof by removing water. So, I mean, it's just straight logic when we look at that part of it. Yeah. So I'm just trying not to do that. But you could say, hey, I really wanted to know what Elijah Craig 94 or small batch, which is probably the best bang for the buck in the bourbon world. If you're a bourbon guy and you're thinking like, hey, I should have something in my bar, Elijah Craig 94 small batch, and you're never going to go wrong. It's always good. It's always good. But if you want a little higher, throw it in a jar, let it evaporate. Don't let it condensate back down and pull it out. It'll be hotter. We do that all the time. We bounce it around all the time. I try to take stuff that's like 86 proof and knock it up to like in the 90s just because I would rather be in the 90s.
I agree. No doubt. Generally better higher.
Yeah, like I think tomorrow I'm doing blind to just casks. And then Wednesday. Last one I did was drain pours. All the worst things I found in the bottom of my bar to figure out how I could blend them to make them better. And this Wednesday is going to be just the opposite. How can I take all the really good stuff I have that's really, really good and make it better? So
that sounds like fun.
So it's just like, it's always like, I don't have tons of people because let's face it, I've only been doing this for, I think, maybe 2 months on the tubes. So it's, but it might be 3 now. I don't know. But I have no problem pouring anything. I've blended Evan Williams 23 before on the channel.
Nice. Very nice.
Evan Williams 23 is liquid gold. There is nothing wrong with Evan Williams 23. Nobody in their right mind should ever blend it. But I wasn't blending it because I didn't like Evan Williams. I was blending it with something else that I didn't like to make it better.
See, again, though, you say nobody should blend these things, but it's your whiskey. You bought it.
That's right.
Do with it whatever the hell you want to do with it, man.
You know what? And that's why I do it, right? I pour out like I've literally thrown Evan Williams 23 into a Dickel. So
why not? Hey, maybe if it improves it, why not?
Speaking of which, is G&H a Dickel product?
It is.
Okay. I can taste the Flintstone vitamin on H, but I couldn't taste it on G. When you told me it was the same whiskey, I just went back and forth between the two. And I can taste the Flintstone vitamin on H, but I cannot get it on G for the life of me, even knowing that it is a Dickel product.
And that was common. You're not the only one that said that.
Interesting.
But so you're saying the G did not taste, but H did.
Yep.
Yeah, G. For G, I got sweeter, savory nose, apple, cinnamon, vanilla, and then a nice smoke finish.
Yeah. With
H, I couldn't get past the Flintstone vitamin. I got mesquite, maple, Flintstone vitamin.
Yeah.
To me, that one tastes more. It tastes more smoky. More like licking a charred barrel. But then the Flintstone vitamin just takes over, and that's all I get after that. And my brain shuts down as soon as I taste that note.
Yeah. So after we go through and we sit there and you say, we map them out of what we are, we'll go through and we'll talk about all the different smokes, what they do to stuff, right? Because it does matter. Certain things give different profiles.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, there's a particular wood product you can sit there and say, hey, listen, I really like this, but man, if it just had a little bit more proof, and I would say, use this. Well, I want to knock it down, use this. I want it to taste like this, blend the two and add that. That's the thing that I've been doing for a while. And, in my head, and I've been like, and I usually bump everything off the gunny. And there's a lot of people in the tubes have been doing a lot of stuff for a long time. He's just been really, really, you're talking about a guy that's been doing it since 77. He's very, very, he can walk in and be like, he just doesn't like being in front of the camera. So
robotic. I actually said the Scottish barley, not the Isla barley. Both are really good. I actually prefer the Scottish barley to the Isla barley, though.
It's really funny because someone told me, it's like, there's a good chance you could be on there for like hours. I was like, have you seen some of my feeds? I've like been on there for 3 hours with like 3 people. I could be on here for 4 hours with one person if they talk. So
they're willing to interact. We're willing to interact right back with them.
I have a particular set of skills. I can drink and stay coherent.
It's always a plus too.
Yeah.
Are we ready to start going through these? I don't have a whole lot left to drink these.
Yeah, no, we can go through them whenever you guys are ready.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, so you can open up. You should have your paper. If not,
I do.
I'll wrench it out and tell you.
All right, I've got it. Let's
Yeah.
see here. Tear it here.
That's some good tape.
It is some good tape. Here, I'm just gonna pull the tape at this point.
Yeah, at that point,
Otherwise, I'm about to tear the paper.
you're gonna rip that up.
All right, there we go.
For what it's worth, I've just been drinking all of my Elijah Craig tonight.
There you go.
I have all my barrel proofs sitting behind me, and I'm like, they're always good.
All right, so the first one here is Larceny Small Batch, 92 proof, soak with cherry wood for 21 hours. Cherry wood. Okay.
Cherry.
So what does cherry wood do for you?
Cherry wood usually gives you like a high. If you think of when you've smelled something and you feel it up in the upper nose cavity, right? It's like this really high pitched, sweet. Sure. You've sat around a campfire or you've sat on your back deck smoking cherry wood. You smoke cherry in your house for a reason. It smells amazing. But to whiskey, it gives it this weird kind of like high twingy kind of note. It's I wouldn't say that it's necessarily a high fruit. I think sometimes someone says cherry wood and they think cherries. No, it's not a cherry to me. It's more of like this really high spice note, and it hits me up in the upper nose cavity, and I can be like, whew, you have this weird twinge in your nose cavity that comes from the cherry wood. And to me, it usually spikes it a little bit. It just a twinge spike, but completely cherry has a place. You just have to figure out for you where that place is. So Larceny, I went with Larceny because Larceny is just a really rock solid weeder. And if I want to mess with it, a cherry is going to move it this way. And if you look at B, it's going to move it completely different. So when you look at A and B, I would imagine that if you were to guess proof point, you would have put B higher.
Yeah, I figured it was way higher than 92. That's
because hickory always proofs everything up.
Okay.
Way up.
Why is any idea why that is?
I don't. I just know it does.
That's okay.
Everything's
the one to me that smells more like Scotch than any of the other ones.
Yeah, hickory smoke will jack that proof right up. I mean, it feels like it's warm, it's high. It's weird. You could have Larceny and not get a Kentucky hug, and you can do it in hickory, and then all of a sudden, like, why do I have a hug? Yeah, I just put smoke in it. And but it's vastly different. You're talking about Larceny 92, and none of those two taste even remotely the same.
Not even close. They're completely, vastly different.
And for me, it's not really anything more than I think we always should be trying to figure out how do we take something and make it our own.
Mm-hmm.
This is one way you can do it. You do blends, I do blends. I'm always playing with that. But smoke isn't that hard to do. It's really just a process of figuring out. And all I did was I started literally smoking canisters. And I would let it sit, and then I would just smell the smoke. And then I'd smell the smoke. And then I'd smell this smoke. And then I'd blend it and smell this smoke. And I was like, oh, that smells like this. And then I would put it in my whiskey. And that's all it was. Nothing more than that.
Oh, I do want to address Cohen's talking about the Balcones cast strength rum. If the newer ones are better than the old ones, that's terrifying because the old ones are fucking amazing. So I can only imagine what the new rums from Balcones are tasting like. That I love the old ones. I have at least 2 or 3 of those. That's pretty awesome. Okay.
Hazmat. That stuff was crazy.
So both A and B were Larceny.
Okay. So those are Larceny. All right, I'll put these over here. All right. So then C and D here. All right. So we've got.
So I actually kind of, I don't know if I assumed they were the same, but I wrote down a lot of the exact same things before you told me they were the same. On both of these, I wrote down young, sappy, and smoke for the first 3 things. And then really the only difference was that D to me was much denser, much thicker feeling on my palate. they weren't like exactly the same, but to me, my palate was just getting a lot of the exact same notes on them.
What I think you would, right? You know, to me, C and D, C would be something my brother loves. It's like what brought him into the whole entire whiskey universe.
Super sweet.
It moved it to a sweeter, lower proof, and D amped it up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like C
I wrote
is all nice and sweet and mellow, and D's like kicking the nuts. It's perfect.
it's denser. It's got a little bit more going on.
yeah. So what that is both of those are Wild Turkey 101.
Really?
They're both Turkey
Yeah.
101. The first one, C, is smoked in applewood. Applewood brings the proof point down, but gives it a weird, sweet, mellow finish. I mean, it is absolutely, if you take something, you're like, whoo, I want that to like come down a notch, applewood. D, hickory. Hickory is always the proof point. It will jack it right up, and you're just like, whoa. Hickory. I smoke everything I like in hickory. Everything the Gunny likes, I smoke in applewood. I have found some weird blends that I've done. That's like, I come out of it and I was like, that's weird. And, but you know, those two, applewood and hickory. So applewood will always, so you think like your bacon, right? How many times you ever went to Applebee's and got applewood bacon? Right?
I might need to.
Well, a lot of times you'll see something that's bacon. They'll say it was applewood. They've smoked it in applewood.
Oh, right.
Said they smoke a sweeter finish. There's just something about the applewood. It doesn't, you know, the words are deceiving because you think apple, you think apples. Yeah, not at all. Applewood is just sweet and delicious. And that's why they do it with bacon. So I thought it was important that you had applewood because most people do applewood bacon. If you go to Wendy's and you get a freaking, what is it, a Baconator?
Yeah.
Applewood bacon.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So Ben Stahl says, is there any way we could get a post-oak smoked TX bourbon? That would be interesting. If you could fix TX bourbon with some smoke, that'd be amazing. And it's that because
We are talking old school TX bourbon. We have not
Texas in general, that the actual brand TX.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be great if you could fix that weird ass. It's just not good bourbon. It's
But so you blend it and then smoke it. Why can't you blend it and smoke it?
You can. I mean,
yeah, I think the thing is that, you know,
it's got a weird funk to it that's really not good.
Well, I think the whole thought process is someone told you, hey, buy this, and you bought it, and you're like, what the F? And you're like, this is horrible. And
I'm pretty sure everyone has a response.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's universally known that it sucks.
Just gotta figure out how to make it right.
Bad. It's just got a really nasty finish on it, and I don't know how to fix it because it's so overpowering. It'll even destroy a Coke. It's so bad. So it's disgusting.
Well, it sounds like you should use that to remove paint because Coke does that too.
Yeah, pretty much. I should send you some of it and see if you can fix it. Just to see.
Hey, you know what? I guarantee you I can, but you gotta send me enough I can taste it to sample it.
Yeah, play with it. Yeah.
Listen, you can have the whole bottle of what he's got. He's never going to drink it anyway.
I'll send it back and blind. You know what? I'll send it back.
That's the best part. Someone finished that one off, but I'll just buy another one and send it to you, and you can see what you can do.
I will send it back in a weird blind, and
that could be fun.
Make you pick it as one of the ones you like better than you think.
That would be great.
I know I can do that. I don't.
That would be very entertaining.
So G&H. So, okay, first of all, I got to know, what did you pick as your favorite?
I like the really sweet G. I thought that was really, really good. I just like those. It reminds me a lot of Bren. It even has like, now it smells even like ice cream. It's almost like the Bronze birthday cake ice cream. Like this, I think is really, really good. I really like G a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic.
Will, you the same?
Yeah, I think so.
So I did this
really?
with Dusty Dan. I did this with Dusty Dan as well, and he instantly was like, "There's no way."
It's amazing.
So
Really, really good.
G is Dickel 12 with mesquite,
Okay.
and
Okay.
H is Dickel 12 cherry. Both of them were smoked for 42 hours.
It's wild.
And everybody so far has picked Dickel 12 mesquite as their favorite.
What was the second one? 12 and
It was a Dickel 12 cherry
cherrywood.
wood done for 42 hours.
Yeah, it's not bad, but I really like G. I think she's
But so
she's on the
mesquite,
money, man.
yeah. So
That-
I think
that's
that
really cool.
it's really good, right?
It's
And
really, exactly. It's really good. I think it's really dangerous.
you know the reason why I did Dickel, right, is you always had everybody review Dickel 12 as the exact same thing. Flintstone vitamins chewed up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No one
Yeah.
likes it. Everybody's like dogging it because you can do 12 and it'd be great, or you can do 12 and just totally ruin it because you went outside your 4 to 6 year. And,
Yes.
certain people do it good, but if someone gave you that to sample and said, "Hey, you can buy a bottle of this for $20," you're buying it. Guess what? It's $19.99, and smoke is free. So
Valid point. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. If worse comes to worse, it's you can, like I said, it's still Dickel. You can still throw it in a Coke. Who cares? It's George Dickel.
No,
Yeah,
but it eliminates the one aspect of Dickel that I can't get past. My brain won't move past Flintstone vitamin when
It
it
doesn't
finds
bother me,
but
but it's not my
mesquite
favorite.
does. Mosquito wipe it right out.
it. It does. It absolutely does.
So you guys, the Whiskey Crusaders and Dusty Dan from Whiskey Reviews both picked Dickel 12
That's funny. That's
over
really funny.
turkey. Over turkey 101. Who picks Dickel over turkey ever?
It's hysterical.
Real.
Yeah.
It's
But,
really good. I really like how it turned
It's
out.
just the idea, right? And like, listen, for me, it's really simple. I believe that the thing that matters to me is making people aware that you can blend to your palate. You don't have to be, like Fred says, a tater. You don't have to be this or that. You just have to be someone that absolutely is comfortable with figuring out, how do I make something my own, and just play with it.
So somebody, I guess, Colin wants to know, have you ever tried burning any peat to flavor whiskeys? You tried anything like that yet?
I haven't burned sod because I live in Ohio. I could. I got enough. I haven't done with it yet, but I could.
Couldn't hurt.
You know what I think would be really interesting, and I talked to
Yeah.
my brother about the other day, is taking tree bark.
Yeah,
And
same
smoking
concept,
tree
sure.
instead of doing sod, right? So you have the sod, and the sod has a certain thing, but the trees only get their nutrients from the sod. So
Yeah.
why not take the tree bark that's wet and damp, fresh, cut it off, and see what you get as a weird. I think it would fall somewhere in this weird category between peat and oak, because you're not getting the oak flavor of a bourbon from the bark. You're getting it from the tree that's dried out, has been put into the point that it staves. What about that nasty old nasty bark that's just sitting there? It's got to do something.
I would think it would. I don't see why it wouldn't. I mean, just like firewood would, same concept.
And I have oak in my backyard, so that might be something down the road that I sit there and just do like some weird smoking of like nasty old musty bark.
Yeah.
I
Try
love.
it. See what happens.
I have no problem smoking. Someone's like, "Well, you're a bourbon guy, right?" And I was like, "Well, I like bourbon." And it's like, "Well, do you like scotch?" I was like, "Yep." "Do you like Lefroy?" "Oh, yep." And I was like, "Why do you like it?" I was like, "Well, because it's different." I was like, I just don't if I'm drinking something, I stay on that.
Yeah.
I don't bounce. If I'm on a Scotch bender, I'm on a Scotch bender. If I'm on a bourbon bender, I'm on a bourbon bender. If you know, what I mean, I just don't jump back and forth because then it's like that's like, hey, have some chocolate. That's really good. Now have pickles. Yeah, fuck off. Why would you do that? That's only pregnant women do that shit.
This is true. Okay, so Jay Armstrong's only had the single barrel of the TX. Okay, the barrel proof about a month, but yeah, the barrel proof is better than like some of those that came out like 2-3 years ago. TX. Oh my god, it's so bad. Some of the newer single barrels are better, and some of the newer products are better. As I talked to Rob, who's their master distiller, about it, and he agreed and all that stuff. Like, we're supposed to actually meet with them, but COVID totally fucked. We're supposed to meet with them like 3 different times. We had to cancel because of stupid COVID over at the distillery. So we're hoping to try and get over there and try some stuff that supposedly is better, but you know, we'll see at some point when we get over there. Who knows? But yeah, they have a sherry and port cask on the TX, but I'm not willing to spend $60 to find out. No. I want someone to send us some sample first before it's worth it or not.
Do either of you guys do cigars?
Not anymore. I used to, but they don't work well with my blood pressure medications, so not anymore.
Well, you know, just take more medication. Duh.
Well, except for the problem is it makes me really ridiculously cigar drunk, and it's very bad. I end up sleeping in people's driveways, and I get yelled at by my wife, so I'm not allowed to do that. My wife was very angry.
But, you know, she has a particular set of skills to bring you back, right?
Oh, yeah, lots of yelling.
She can just yell and kick you in the chest a couple times, you'll be revived.
Mm-hmm. Just what everyone needs.
Yeah, but, you know, I sit there and I think, you know, when you're sitting there going through and looking at different things, so do you guys, both of you guys, do you have Woodenville?
Yes.
So you have the Woodenville Port?
Yes.
Oh, Will don't have it.
He must have drank his samples then.
Yeah.
He must be out.
Well, Woodenville Port is, to me, the absolute best thing you can have to blend to a cigar finish.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that there's very few things that will get you to where you need to be on a cigar finish that Woodenville Port will. I did that when I did my skirmish between Crown XO and Woodenville. I finished it, and then I was like, wow, the only thing that's missing, if you take, and this is your next mission, Will. Are you a Maduro smoker? Because I know you are. You have a beard. You got to be a Maduro smoker. So, why don't I hear you all of a sudden?
I think he's on mute.
Oh.
Because I muted myself because I was sitting here chomping on bacon.
Oh, okay.
Yes, indeed.
So I think that get a Woodenville port cask finish, right? And throw freaking Bookers in it. Do a 2-to-1 Woodenville to Bookers with a Maduro cigar.
Interesting.
And I will just say this, just being overly cocky, you're welcome.
Heard that.
What's up, Donald Rance, Cohen? All those guys are freaking dudes. They're all good guys.
Yeah. There's so I was gonna say also there's our buddy Josh over at Still Austin. I know they got the new gin that just came out. And if you guys like gin, I'm sure it's really good. I know their old gin was really good, so I haven't tried the new one, but Josh, I want to try a new gin. It looks exciting. So I do love the musician for your bourbon, which is fantastic. So hoping the gin's just as good.
Have you ever tried using maple chips, sugar maple chips?
I have. I do use them. What I find a lot of times is that maple usually blends the best if you take a little bit of maple chips and you blend them with a little bit of applewood maple chips. You'll get this like weird applewood maple. I've had maplewood straight. I didn't like it as much as I did with the applewood maple.
Okay.
And I have pecan. It was funny you said pecan earlier, and I do have pecan chips.
Nice.
So, you know, you can buy all that shit at Lowe's.
Yeah.
Just buy it at Lowe's. Go buy the chips. It's like very cheap. And the easiest way to do it, right, is don't pay a lot of money for anything you want to buy. Go to Goodwill. Everybody has a Goodwill. You're going to find shit that people give away. I think about a month ago, I did like this weird thing where I said like your drinking bar, and I had all these decanters. Every one of them but one I found at the Goodwill, because young kids are inheriting things, and they're like, well, why would I want this shit? And they throw it away. So go to your Goodwill. But Winecrafts, Chris Benton, you're great. No, yeah. But you take a Winecraft, just a basic Winecraft guy, you can take a slate, right? So when I do my smoking, right, it's really simple. Slate never cracks. So I always have this like weird wood slate.
Okay.
And it's got legs on it. And so all I really do with it is I take my chips, and I'll do this right now because we're sitting here talking about it. So where's my chips? I want to use. I got so much shit down here. The gunny needs so many different things. Ugh. Oyster crackers and peanuts and cashews and like so much shit.
Holy
So
crap, I added
all
it
I
to
do
your-
is like these little wood chips, right? It's just like I do these little containers of wood chips.
Okay.
And what all you have to do is like this weird thing, right? And you can go, what I suggest you do is you can either do a woodcraft, or you can go to the Goodwill and find like vases that people throw away. And vases are wonderful for doing this. So this is just like a straight vase, but it's got a knob at the bottom. Flip it upside down, it's totally different. So what I do with it is nothing more than I go and get like a basic plumber's torch. These are, if you don't go anywhere expensive and buy it, go to Harbor Freight. It's like $5 at Harbor Freight. And you have to, yeah. So all you do, I'll try to tore this down a little bit, right? So you can't flame it right away. You just want to torch it. It's got to be charred first. If you torch it right away and it turns flames first, you don't want that because you won't get a lot of smoke. So all you're doing is just going through and charring it first. It will flame a little bit, but not a lot. So you just want to work it around to get in this like weird thing. And you'll see some smoke come off there, but you want it to be like really charred before you do anything. Now you can have anything that you want. Stupid thing. I don't know why it always does that. It's weird that the actual flame won't light it back up, but this will. So it has to be charred. And, I'm just trying to get it like really a heavy char, because if you just put it under right now, it wouldn't have that much smoke. It has to be like really black, just charred. But once you have a good flame, right?
It's like hibachi
What you're
restaurant.
doing with this is you're going to cover it. You're going to cover it, right?
Okay.
Really weird. It's going to flame, and then all of a sudden, watch, it'll just start blowing smoke. I don't know. Can you see that?
Oh yeah, that's
The
awesome.
whole globe just changed.
Yeah, we could see it big time.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
So all I would do is just take whatever. So I'm going to just grab like a decanter because it's still smoking, and it's like totally engulfed right now, and it's like really blowing up. It has a big upcurrent. So the weird thing about the smoke is that I don't know if that'll fit in there. Hold on. I might have to do like a little guy. Yeah. We'll go to a little guy. Oh. So I'm going to drop to a little Glencairn because this one isn't deep enough for this guy. So I'm going to throw it in this guy. So I literally don't do anything more than this. So there's a couple different things I do. Whether I just do this or whether I actually go through and put it in a carafe. Now I'll smoke a carafe, fill the carafe full, and then pour it into it and then seal it. But
Okay.
it just depends. So, when you think of an old fashioned, a lot of it's really aesthetic. It's just, oh, that's really pretty. I'm like drinking smoke. Well, F off. I don't want to drink smoke. I want to taste smoke. And I want to change my profile. So you can do this as a quick thought process to figuring out what smokes I like, what smokes I don't like. And this one is peach. This is peach. So this is peach wood from a peach tree. And you can't think of the flavors. Like we hear peach and apple. Yeah. It doesn't mean the smoke's that. Adriana. Yeah.
The little wee Glencairns are fun.
Yeah, the wee Glencairns are great for like little bitty ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not following Whiskey Mountains, Adriana does a great gig of being in the great outdoors of Utah, going up in the mountains and tasting. And make sure you go to Whiskey Mountains, aka Adriana, and follow her and sub her. She does a great job. So,
hopefully, one of our amazing blue wrenches will drop that link in the chat for me.
yeah, she does such a great job. And it doesn't have to be this weird blend, right? You don't have to be like sitting on hours to do it. You will know instantly because if you do it quick and you pull it out, once I pull this off, weird thing about smoke is smoke will stay where it's at. It's weird. You would think that like if I pull that up, it would all be gone. That's not the case. Some of it will, but I could literally take this up and flip it over and there'd be smoke sitting in it. It won't instantly go away. So you have to think about, how do I make that your own? So, and I'll show you this, right? You'll be like, it's weird. So smoke is like the most strange thing in the world. If you do it slow, the whole jar is still just sitting there. So the jar and the glass are both just sitting there full of smoke. So usually, you just go through. So like if I taste this right now, it's going to give me what I think it will be if I infuse it. I'm going to smell it. And it is fucking amazing.
Interesting.
And, it killed that right down. I mean, like right now, that was like really nice. I felt like I should probably have like an Old Carolina freaking half a rack. But yeah, these little ones are great for like silly stuff. Go to the Bourbon Trail. They'll give them to you. They have you taste them and they give it. This one's from Heaven Hills.
Yeah, I got a set from Balcones and I got a set from Iron Root. I broke one of my Iron Roots yesterday. That was fun times.
Oh no!
But you would never think that peach would smell like barbecue. But I'm telling you right now, this smoke is way sweeter. It is barbecue. It's like a barbecue sauce.
Nice.
It's not like mesquite or nothing else. It's peach wood, but it has this weird
the wood burning kit.
Yeah, but don't do the planks. Listen, if you ever watch any video and they say do the planks, F off. Don't do the planks. It doesn't work the same. You don't want a plank. You want chips because chips you can blend. Planks you cannot.
Yeah.
So go to your Lowe's. If you're a veteran, get your 10% off and get your planks. Not your planks, but get your little chips, right? They come in the little bags. So like I went there the last time and they had Jack Daniel's whiskey barrel chips. And I was like, what? I was like, ooh. And I brought them home. And not only are they chips, they're still wet. They're like, you're like, there's no way. And they come in this like weird thing of Jack Daniel's Old Number 7.
Computer. What the hell is going on?
And they're not dry. Like not at all. There's so much evaporation in here. There's literally like they're damp. And if you smell them, they're like the chewed up barrels. And I'm not saying I'm an old number 7 guy, but I'm saying like, I can do something with that. I can blend something with it. So I think the thing is that, just don't settle for like, this is Richie Z. Richie Z is the dude. I'm telling you right now.
I like that blend though of Knob Creek single barrel 100 proofs with Lefroy 10 and some Elijah Craig 12. That sounds really great. Interesting.
Well, the thing that's important, right, is that you said something that's like really important. You've had those. So in that, you can sit there and say like, okay, I know that, and that, and then, oh, that sounds all right. That's what it's about, right? It's figuring out. But you have to know that. I did one the other day, and I had this like weird thing I never thought I'd ever get. I had like and crazy mustard kind of finish on something that should not be mustard. And I was like, why does that smell like mustard? And I had Steve come in. I was like, does that smell like a mustard barbecue? And he's like, yes. I was like, why? He's like, I don't know. I was like, well, that's good. And I was like, well, that's a little high proof or a little high pitch to be with this. I wonder if I can do those to get the mustard and throw in applewood to knock it down. And so we did 6-chip blend of smoke.
Wow.
Just to add it to a bourbon for the heck of it.
Yeah, why not?
Now, and I don't want anybody to think that I don't just drink straight. I do. I drink straight plenty. There's a lot of things that I really enjoy that I drink straight. I'm just always trying to figure out how can I make whatever I'm drinking be the best that I want.
Yeah, don't blame you. So
I think it's really simple.
have you ever made a full bottle of anything completely smoked or just basically the glass and that's it? Yeah, okay.
No, I did a full bottle of Old Forester 1920 because someone asked me to do it as well, I'll be honest. Dusty Dan said, hey, I want you to tell me I want Old Forester 1920 for barbecue.
Okay.
And I did a whole bottle of Old Forester 1920.
Because I think we're going to need some of this Dickel, a whole bottle of this Dickel here. I think that'll be great.
Well, I can do that. I know exactly what you have and how long to smoke it. And by the time you get it, it'll be like 6 months. Just kidding.
That'd be okay.
How do you
patient.
go about smoking an entire bottle?
What's that?
How do you go about smoking an entire bottle?
So I have bigger crafts. I have crafts for, I literally have like different size of different crafts for being able to do that. So if I smoke an entire bottle, let's see if I can pull this without breaking everything underneath here.
Oh, please don't break things.
I ain't gonna break things. I have entire bottle craft.
Okay.
And I can I can do an entire bottle.
So you'll funnel all the smoke into there and then put it in the liquid, leave it sealed.
Yep. And then I will do it so if I'm doing an entire bottle, right? So the more liquid you have put in the smoke, the more time you need to infuse it all. And so when you do that, you have to spend a little bit more time saying, hey, this is going to take a little bit longer. So understand that, we're doing a lot more. The less you have. So think of this, right? Anybody that goes through and, I'll give you a perfect example, right? So I do recon reports. My recon reports are kind of like an uncorking. It doesn't mean it's like something new to me, but it's like something I'm either revisiting or something I haven't had. And so I have a 6-step process to tasting. You always have your eyes, you have your nose, you have your palate, you have your finish. I also have a second pour and a back blast. The back blast is the very last little bit of my first pour. I set it aside because I want to see what it will eventually become if I decant it. In the meantime, every master distiller of everything that anybody's ever made, whether it be really good or really bad, put their time and effort into their craft. If you don't take the time to go to a second pour, I think it's disrespectful. I just think you should go to this extra length, because there's a lot of times you'll go through and you'll taste something. Your first taste will be junk. You'll go through and you'll have another taste. You're like, oh, it's starting to open up. You'll go to your chew. You've awoke everything. You're starting to acclimate. And then you'll taste and you're like, okay, that's great. Now, talk. Just talk. Take the last little bit of your glass and set it aside and say, I'm going to come back to this. In the meantime, kill some time. Let your palate calm down. Pour again. Get a second pour of the same stuff. Your second pour is usually what I believe the master distillers and those people are thinking you're going to taste. Now, this is just me. I'm not a somm. I'm a steward, but I'm not a somm. But I know that I've had second pours be way better than the first pour.
That's almost always the case. Like it's rare
then,
the first
then
one.
you get to that second pour and you're like, wow, that shit's all right. And then when you get done with your second pour, you go to your back blast and you smell it and you taste it. That's what I believe it's going to be if I decant it. And I have like 5 different decanters on my bar. I have bourbon, I have a rye, I have a wheater, I have a scotch, and I have a high proof.
Okay.
And really the reason I have that is someone comes to the bar, and I have people stopping in all the time. I don't want to know what you like. I want to know why you like what you like. And I want to help you understand, why do you like it? Why like this? Well, why? Well, because of this. Okay, well, your palate is acclimated towards a wheater. So when you go to the liquor store and you're thinking about buying something, and you read a review that said you should pay X amount of dollars for this, well, if it ain't a wheater, you're probably not going to like it. So just be true to who you are and know what you like, but you have to know what you like. Will does, Matt, you do, I do. I know why I like what I like. But that doesn't mean everybody does. And that's our job. I believe that's our job, is to be accurate in what we taste, give an honest review, but at the same time saying, listen, this wasn't for me, but if you like X, this is for you. And I enjoy that. You know, being a technical trainer, listen, that's all I do is like teach and spend time with that. So I just want people to understand that, oh, listen, I have no skin in the game other than I just like this shit. I want people to like what they like.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I combined all of them together. It's quite nice. I'm going to add this Woodenville Port to it now to see what happens.
Oh, I'm telling you what are you adding it to?
To the whole blend of all 6.
Oh, well, you know what? It's going to make it a cigar blend. I can tell you right now.
Perfect. Then it should be fantastic.
Well, you can do the same thing with Angel's Envy.
It smells really good.
Because it's a port finish as well.
Right.
Woodenville is a little bit stronger, but that is going to be a straight cigar blend.
That's really good.
Yeah,
that's
that's
really,
going to be a
really
cigar blend. It's going to be like, you're getting that, like, because Woodenville has this like weird, strong port. And if you've ever had port as a wine guy, so the added benefit I had, I was a die-hard wine guy before I got into this world. And so I was in Napa 3 times a year. Quite honestly, for everybody that's like, oh, Napa, yeah. Go to Santa Cruz. Montebello Road, Paquetti Brothers will just throat punch everybody in Napa. They're way better. I'm telling you right now. Throat punch them, gouge out an eye, and do like terrible things that only military guys talk about. The Paquetti Brothers is way better than any of them. They have, I'm telling you right now, the best summer drink you'll ever have in your life. Pichetti, Picchetti, out of Santa Cruz Mountains. They have old vine, right? They were the Sacramento wine
Nice.
during Prohibition, so nothing got cut down. And they're in the rocks, so they have this huge limestone base, which if you're a limestone guy, you'll pick it up right away.
Yeah.
It's super rich. It's super amazing. You'll be like, we have a Mission Angelica white port, right? Mission Angelica is a white port. You can just really put that on the rocks with an orange twist, and hello, summer. It's amazing.
So Carl wants to know, what Maduros does he like? Fuente Anejos are very nice, and the wrapper is aged in conic barrels for 2 years. What do you think about those?
You know what? I'm a Fuente guy. I love those. I'm much more of a the one person, a particular brand that's always. I don't think I've ever had one that ever let me down ever is H. Upman. If you go to the Banker series, the H. Upman Banker series, I've never had a bad H. Upman Banker. Now they have a bunch of different wrapper blends, whether you're going towards the big ones that will last you 9 holes on the golf course, or whether you're talking about the little stubbies you can do like an hour at your fire pit. H. Upman is really good. You're never going to go wrong. If you're talking Fuente is not ever bad. It would be good, but if you're talking about that, you just got to pair it to you. I know for me, if I was having that particular brand, and I do Pravada series, I do a bunch of different series, I would probably have a blend that would go with that. And I would probably have a Cleveland Underground with a Weller Special Reserve and it wouldn't be Booker's, that's too much, but I would have a high proof, maybe a rare breed to get that cherry note. I did not get training from anywhere. It's 2 wheels down. That was just me doing it for years, figuring out how to take this time. And listen, there's very few people in this world that I love like my brother, and we were so disenfranchised for so many years because of our age. I just wanted to be able to have what we can do together. And so I started experimenting on my own. I've done my time, I have my stewardship and that stuff, but my stewardship doesn't have anything to do with what I've been doing. You know what, Cohen, I do have a pocket knife, right? And it's my grandpa's that he was given, so back in the day, right? This is really weird where I live. I don't know if it's everywhere, but where I live, Salvation Yards, and I mean like junkyards, used to hand out pocket knives. And they're like these really little things. And I usually carry my grandpa's pocket knife because he died on my birthday the year before I was born. And so I usually carry it. There's no name brand. It just says J&S Salvage. So I don't know. But I usually carry something. Now, I will say though, under the bar, every bar should have a K bar. Let's be honest. If you're going to be a Marine, you have a K bar.
You call that a knife? This is a knife.
It's like you want to go with. So I always have a K bar in my bar, along with things that I need that are more than a K bar, because Ohio is little Texas. So
yes,
yeah.
No bar's complete without its own shotgun. That's for sure. At the minimum.
Or at least a revolver that you can hold the chamber of the rounds, so no one knows what you.
Well, that's a valid point too.
You didn't drop it.
The Woodenville Port for 58. It's a little bit high on the price. I know here it's like 50, but I mean, it's $8 more. I mean, if that's the cheapest you can find, that's the cheapest you can buy it. It's really good. I like Woodenville Port a lot.
Oh, really good.
So I poured some of this Coloman STR, which is a shaved and then recharred and toasted red wine cask. Which one do you think could go best with these bourbons here with the smoke in them?
So you said you had a red. Do you know what kind of red wine?
Does it say? It does not say.
It doesn't say red. So say that one more time.
Okay, so it's a Coloman STR, which is shaved, toasted, recharred red wine cask. It is 7 years old.
So do it with C.
C? All right.
C.
Actually, so I have it in front of me. Let's see what happens.
Because C is the only applewood. And I think the applewood would be more of a. Because you're talking about like. Yeah, with your casking, I would say applewood.
It smells really pretty now.
Because applewood will sweeten it up.
Delicious. It's already a good whiskey to begin with. That just adds a little extra smoke and sweetness to it. That's really nice.
But and that's applewood does that. So if you take something that you thought was like, wow, I'd really like to sweeten it up. And as hard as it is to say and like hurts my heart to say someone needs to like drop the proof.
Yeah.
Applewood will knock it right down and sweeten it up. But you really didn't take away technically from the proof, but it gives it a deception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you sit there and you think, Michelle Pfeiffer, she's okay. She's all right. And she puts on the Catwoman outfit and you're like, what the fuck just happened? Like straight up hot. It's kind of like that, right?
Oh, God, that's funny.
She went from like Michelle Pfeiffer, like whatever, to like, what the hell? So, but I think that's the thing. Right?
That sucks, Ben Demon Hunter. You can't have a K-bar in your car? That's bullshit. Stupid Canadian laws.
Just don't tell anybody. I carry.
Well, yeah, exactly. That is the solution because it's best to have a dead bad guy than you worry about, having guns or knives in your car. Seems like the better choice to me.
Yeah.
Just
let's be honest. We're talking Ohio and Texas. We're like the illegitimate little brother that thinks the same thing. We're just trying to be Texas.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, that's just dumb. Why would I not have one? It's more like it.
It's like, excuse me, sir. Why do you have like 4 40-round clips in your trunk? I was like, why are you in my trunk?
Yeah, it's more like they won't be in the trunk. I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, why are you in my trunk? Get off it. So
yeah, it's like if the trunk is open, you need to have probable cause. So I suggest you stay out of my trunk.
Yeah, we'll put that underneath your like spare somewhere in there.
Yeah, I mean, of course, in the trunk, generally, there's generally whiskey in the trunk. So, just put it underneath the whiskey in the whiskey box. It's fine.
You're right. Your best thing where I'm at, and probably where you're at, is like they come up to the car and you're like, just I am a CCW, blah 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 blah. They're like, oh, okay, thank you. And then that's
yeah, it's kind of yeah. Dustin wants to know where you're at in Ohio.
I'm in Ashland.
Okay.
I'm right in between Cleveland and Columbus, dead in the middle. It's an hour to both. So Ashland is this weird place in Ohio that we have.
Is there a normal place in Ohio?
No. But the only, what's good about Ohio? I'll tell you one thing that's really good about Ohio. No matter what the weather is, we're ready for it. We don't have pipe bursting, houses breaking, and everything's going to shit.
That's because of our stupid energy people never decided to put it as shit because they're fucking morons.
Hey, we didn't have any problem with any. We didn't have any water breaks or power breaks or anything with our tubes. So I have to throw it at you, Will. Don't be giving me shit because I can talk about you guys all day long. I love you guys. You're like my illegitimate big brother. The only place I would live other than here is Texas, but I like seeing everything die every year and regrow and show me that there's a chance of a new tomorrow. Down there, you're like, everything's like always the same. And they're like, what the hell? We just got skull effed. Like straight up skull effed in a deep plunge of like Arctic weather.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So I had like really good friends. So like it was the worst day. I'm really sorry. The worst thing ever. Like the shit happened to you guys. But I had a really good friend up here that went down to help his family. And he's like, hey, I'm at this liquor store. And I was like, hello. He's like, hey, they have Woodenville cask strength, but it says total liquor. I was like, oh my God, it's a single barrel. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, what's single barrel? And I was like, yeah, just buy it. Buy it now. So I got the best haul ever from my buddy that was down there helping his family that had like a lot of problems with their pipes burst and everything. And he brought it all back and he's like, oh, hey, this is what I got for you. And I was like, I love you. He's like, that's weird. And I was like, no, I'm just saying, you don't understand. When would I find in Ohio a Woodenville cask strength? That, you know, and listen, I'm not a person that will like really jump on someone that is overinflated. But let's be real. Fred Minnick, I don't think that he's overinflated because he's in Lexington and he did a cask strength blind. And his number one was fucking Woodenville in Washington.
Yeah, they make good
You're
shit.
talking about a dude that lives in Lexington, Kentucky, and he gave his number one cask strength to Washington. Yeah. I will give mad props to the honesty and the integrity behind not going out of his way to make sure that a Kentucky guy won it. So I think that for me, of all the things I've ever seen from Fred, changed my whole entire perspective. Because you're taking, for people that are cask strength guys, and I know you guys are, he put a Washington bourbon ahead of every major dude. He put it in front of A121 Elijah Craig.
That's pretty impressive.
Well, A121 Elijah Craig is freaking really good. Now, I don't know that I've had a bad Elijah Craig barrel proof.
No.
Some people will say they have.
I have yet to have a bad one. There are certainly some that are better than others, but not a bad one.
That's what, you know, like you see me coming, I'm like going back, I was like, I'm trying to drink this because it's really good, but I'm like, at the same time, I don't want to drink it all. But I've been drinking it all night. And so, like all night that you guys have been doing this, I've been on Elijah Craig Barrel Proof C917. Yeah, I've been on this guy. And I'm like, I'm gonna like kill this soon. I'm like, it's sad. I won't get it again.
Well, you know, here, like Jason Coates says, the worst Elijah Craig bourbon is still fantastic bourbon. Exactly.
Yeah. You know, but it encompasses the thought that you have between this, like it's pleasing to the palate, it's pleasing to the strength. There's just not a lot about the Heaven Hills blend of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof that's terrible. And if someone says like, "Oh, I had this one and it sucks," yeah, fuck off. I don't believe you. I've never had an Elijah Craig Barrel Proof that was horrible.
No.
You haven't had a guy.
Yeah, these are good too. The Jack Daniel's single barrel proofs, those are also really, really good.
Oh,
we were talking about that earlier. One of the best.
Yeah, we were definitely talking about it. You know what? Oh, I see it up there. You know, I'm looking, and I'm like, oh, you know what? You did it, so I'll do it. Oh,
do you have on pants?
But is as good as the rye? I don't know. That rye is fucking spectacular.
You know, that's the only one I don't have. So I have the same thing that he was just showing.
Yeah, those are good. I got mine's in the other room, and I'm too lazy to get it.
I don't have the rye.
It's pretty good.
I'm in a controlled state, so you can flex what you want, Will. That was like a fake yawn flex. Don't you flex on me. I used to have a beard bigger than you, so I don't want to hear it. So,
Well, it's actually kind of funny. My beard does not grow any longer than this.
oh no, mine does.
It just stopped. It just kind of doesn't.
So like the weird thing, right?
A big old Gandalf beard, and
I had someone ask me like, "How long you been doing this?" And I said this, and I was like, "Well, you don't look old enough." I said, "Listen, chill the f out." My mom and my dad both passed away with very little gray hair, so gray doesn't run in our family.
That's
Oh,
a great genetic trait to have. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
it works for me. I'm almost 50, and hey, no.
Oh wow, I have a whole lot more gray in my beard than you do in yours, and I'm only 37.
Well, that's because you sit there and flex when you have something that I don't. And it's like karma.
Oh God.
Yeah. I'm so happy that I saw like a whole lot of cat asshole tonight.
Donald, or any other Blue Wrench, if somebody could throw me Bourbon Battalion's YouTube channel link in the comments section, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah. So I have like a couple of different things, right? And I'm fortunate. I don't really throw out a lot of stuff. I do have a Patreon, and it's really simple. Patreon at Bourbon Battalion. I do have a PayPal.me/Bourbon Battalion, and everything I do would only go to my bar. I've been very blessed. COVID didn't affect me work wise, didn't affect my wife work wise. But everything I have in my bar, everything I've done, all of my upgrades, my computer, everything is just out of pocket. I would be that complete douche that would take like X and blend it. And not because I'm trying to say that whatever it is bad. It's just, don't be afraid to make something your own. Because I believe, and I think Will and Matt would both say this, it's your palate.
True. Only you can tell if you like it or not.
Yeah, figure out how to make your own.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Other than plugging your whiskey or your YouTube channel, you have any other pluggables that you would like to plug?
Well, I tell you, I just have my PayPal me. I have that stuff. There's a guy in the tubes that is a really good dude that I think that most people know who he is, and not everybody has to know everything about what's going on, but could use your support and look out there at the Mash Bill. If you go out and look at the Mash Bill, Stan's going through some tough times. He's fighting through it. I would say, hey, listen, I would rather you throw anything you have towards a Mash Bill over me. I'm not struggling. What I do is what I do. I can live with my wife bitching about it. It is what it is. I'm happy to do any support you give me because it all goes to my bar, but not everybody is that thing. I think of the Mash Bill. I think of Kilco. They both run really good channels. Listen, the Mash Bill, for as young as he is in it and what he's doing in it, he throws up some great content as far as he's really good at some of the stuff he does. And Kilco, those guys are doing something that's different than what you are dealing with and what I'm dealing with. And the tubes, this is the reason why I picked tube over IGTV. The people here are good. I've never had to have anybody delete a comment on any stream I've ever had, because everybody is, for the most part, pretty good in the tubes. And if you're looking to be a good human that embellishes the idea of what I think we all believe in, the Mash Bill and Kilco are guys that you should plug. If you're not plugging them, you should.
Yeah, we see him. We always do.
Matt, what do we got going on? I'm fairly confident I edited a video today.
I hope so, because I had to make a thumbnail for it. We got the the Death Act. It's a Glenmorangie travel retail coming out tomorrow, and then the Knob Creek finally did that one for Thursday. See, Friday I've got another special fun video for you guys. New thing. Saturday's Liqueurs April, courtesy for Spencer. Yeah, congrats. I don't know if Spencer's still in here, but congrats to Spencer on his new job. That's fantastic for him. And then next week, Glendalough will be here. So we've got their owner will be on with us. So that should be a lot of fun. And then on St. Patty's Day, we're going to be over on the Mash and Drum for a fucking insane, chaotic St. Patty's Day of ridiculous Irish whiskey. That's probably going to be a really long, I would count it at least 3 to 4 hours on Wednesday, guys. So if you can take Thursday off, it's be a really good idea. Because it's probably going to be insane. It could go to God knows what hour. So, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So, be a crazy Irish time. So, good times. No offer, Mike. Offer for what? I just missed something.
So, Howard. So, what do you have on Super Chats?
Nothing today, but
What? You don't have any Super Chats?
Not today, but that's okay. Hey, all days are good. It's all good.
That's right.
Just sitting there saying like, hey, I live in the land of Weller.
Yeah, you do live in the land of 107. There's no doubt. This is true, and I think I think that's true. Robotic, like you said, that a lot of people have found Whiskey Tube because of COVID. It's a virtual bar, exactly. It's like having a drink with people that you know talk to every day. You just unfortunately can't see them in person. And hopefully, when all this crap ends, we'll be getting back together in person with people. And hopefully, when this damn place calls me back and I keep harassing them, we'll have a place to tell you a lot about really cool shit. But until those little assholes answer the phone and give me a quote, I can't tell you anything. All right, thanks for appreciate it.
How many people overall are on the chat?
Right now, 33. We had up into like 70s earlier, so we had lots.
So I can go for another half hour.
Well, if you and Matt want to, you're welcome to. I'm going to step away because my bladder is full and it needs to be emptied.
Yeah. You can come back.
Well, my wife also needs to go to bed. She's got to work in the morning, so
I'll
stop being loud and all that. So,
all right.
But cheers to you. It was good talking to you. But I'm going to remove myself.
All right, night will. All right, so we got from Dustin. We've got here's $5. Tell Bourbon to hit me and Mike up. We can have him over for Jason or something. Sounds good, Dustin. So yeah, definitely hit Dustin up, and since he's in Ohio.
So you game for another 30 minutes?
Yeah, 30 minutes is that works for me.
All right. So I'll tell you what. We'll go the next 30 minutes. Every super chat, we'll go at the end. You can pick up whoever you want. We'll do a random number. I'll give a Weller Antique 107 away.
Okay, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. So Donald, I'm gonna let you write those out because I appreciate it. All right, thanks, Richie Z. Appreciate it.
Richie Z is the dude. Richie Z is the dude. He knows I know that.
He is an awesome guy. He gave us our sample for our Yamasaki 18, so that was awesome because that's a really, really hard freaking whiskey to find.
I think the thing is that you have the collection you have because people support you and have the opportunity to do that.
Yes, we do we do a lot of really cool local stuff with a lot of people, and people come here. Anybody that's traveled from out of town, that we've had several come from all over the country to do stuff here. They get to do some pretty epic tastings when they get to come around here. So yeah, if you're gonna, like I said, when all this stuff gets handled out, we're gonna have some really awesome announcements for you guys that you're gonna get to come see some really cool shit in the future. That is what we're working on. Thank you very much, Daniel.
So it might be like one of those weird things, right? But for whatever reason, I don't always understand this. So for Super Chat tonight, we will do the Weller Antique 107 with a gold foil, which means it's a cork.
Yes, that's true.
You know what? And it's like you literally will pay more to have a cork, which is like retarded.
It's so stupid. $20 more because
I'm with you. But I will give this one away in the Super Chat tonight. So Super Chat up, the Whiskey Crusaders
Appreciate it.
I will make sure that this goes out to you guys. I have places here. I know I can get whatever I want Weller. So
Yeah, you guys have it. Like we can get it occasionally when it comes in, but you guys have people get it all the time, which is fantastic. We're not that lucky.
well, the only two that we can get across the board is Special Reserve and 107.
Yeah, Special Reserve's good, but man, if you can get 107 all the time, that's awesome.
I can get 107 every day.
That's amazing. That just still blows my mind that Ohio gets it every day. It's like,
well,
why?
I will say you have to know where.
You do have to know. Okay,
it'll come out. It comes out. It's not like you can look at OHLQ in Ohio and it'll give you the list of every store that has it. But there's like weird stores that no one ever goes to that's sitting there with a back. I've literally walked into a store and I was like, because I know they have it. And I was like, you're a Special Reserve and you're antique. And they're like, yeah. I was like, can I have 3 bottles each? And they're like, yeah. I was like, all right.
Wow.
I'll just walk away.
That's fantastic.
107, I'll drink regular. The Special Reserve, it's good. I'm not saying it's not good, but it's a great blending. Oh my God, it's a great blender because it gives this weird spice note that shouldn't give a spice note, but it does on the blend. So I will, you'll have to let me know the information on this stuff. This Weller 107 is going to go to somebody tonight.
Yeah, it'd be great. Especially if somebody that maybe hasn't had it's even better.
I'm going to pour this Jack Daniel's single barrel because he kept showing it up all night.
It is quite good. Yeah, mine's somewhere in the other room. I don't know.
Well, it is good. I mean, I've been drinking it. I just don't want to drink the rest of my barrel proof.
Oh yeah, I don't blame. Yeah, because you can't get that again. I agree. Mike Saul says, "Tell him a joke." So you got a joke, Bobby?
Oh, Jesus Lord! That's like on the spot. I instantly think of like jokes I told my kids. So, do you have a good joke?
He didn't say it'd be a good joke. I'll have jokes. They're just not appropriate ones to tell on YouTube. I don't want to get kicked off. They're hilariously funny, but if we share it over here, there's a real good chance we get demonetized.
Yeah. So, man,
I'm trying to think.
I'm like, listen, I was in the Marine Corps, so most of my stuff is like off limits. I'm like thinking, do I have anything that would get someone in trouble?
Yeah, it's like what doesn't involve some kind of thing that's in a horrible book or derogatory term towards someone. They're all those. That's what they all are. It just makes them funny, but also makes you get kicked off YouTube. So
that Jack Daniel's single barrel proof on your nose. Do you always like pull off this like weird cherry note?
On that one, I don't know. I haven't spent any time with it in a long time.
No, it might be. Listen, I've been
cherry note? I'm not sure. I'd have to find it.
But right now, I'm pulling off a serious cherry.
It's definitely. I mean, it's certainly possible for sure.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying,
Even,
like
bananas. What I pull off with Jack Daniel's in general.
Mike, you know what?
It's a good one.
I don't
Mike.
have jokes on the cusp that fast.
I think that's pretty good. That's pretty funny.
That was pretty funny. It's just like this weird. I can tell it's a proof, but I don't think I'd pick it up to be as high as it is. To me, and I'm not looking at the bottle. I don't know it off the top of my head.
Right.
But for me, and I don't know if this is you, Matt, but like when I go through, I always am registering a proof on the really high at the top of my nose, this weird like twinge of, does it give me something that's like really high where I think it's like octane, and I don't get that off this. I get this at like a I wouldn't put this like more than 110, maybe.
Yeah, that's how I think a lot of those come off. That's for me for sure.
But I have this like weird like this weird cherry note with maybe like orange.
Oh my gosh!
If you ever peeled an orange,
yeah,
you got zest of an orange, but then
Okay.
you accidentally somehow like peeled too much and the orange broke open.
Okay. Oh yeah, sure. Okay.
And not the peel, not the zest, but like the fruit
Sure.
of an orange. I get that. I get this like weird, like I peeled it and it was stuck and it broke. I get this like note that when that fruit of the orange explored, you're like, I'm getting like this weird orange.
Yeah, that works. I see. I have 4 kids and 1,000 dad jokes. Well, that'll do it. That'll do it, Mike. Okay, so the avage on the smoke in here, and I put some of this hazmat iron root in here. It smells freaking awesome now.
Which letter are you doing?
I don't even know which one was in it, to be honest, because it's just whatever it's just the emptiness of the smoke left in the glass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it smells
that's
amazing.
is that I will say this. So you just said something that's like really important.
Oh,
Glass will hold smoke. You can have a glass hold smoke. I've had glass. So like this right here, I smoked this earlier, right? I used this.
yeah.
And it's been just sitting out. I can still smell it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know, like especially you get peated scotches and stuff. Oh my gosh, you can leave it out for 2 or 3 days and it still smells like smoke in the glass.
I mean, like that right there. You smell this, and you're instantly like,
Yeah, I imagine so.
It's freaking delicious. I'm telling you right now, if you have an Old Carolina barbecue around you,
Not that I'm aware of.
well, I mean,
I go down to my buddy's house. It's half a mile away.
You might have. You're in Fort Worth, right?
Yeah, I'm near Fort Worth.
You're outside of Dallas. Do you have Ken's? Do you have a Ken's by you?
No, nothing I'm aware of.
Oh, freaking go northeast.
Yeah, I usually go to my buddy Brian. He lives a half mile from. He makes all of our barbecue and it kicks all of everyone else's asses. So I just drink it. I just eat it.
So I will tell you this: for 10 years, I was an 85% international traveler.
Oh wow! Okay.
Not only just CONUS, but I mean, like everywhere. I was like on every continent other than the Arctics.
Wow. Shit.
And I can tell you right now, easily the best weird thing I ever had was Ken's up in the Dallas area. Ken's Smokehouse has the best pork chop I've ever had in my entire life. It's the only pork chop I ever had that wasn't dry.
Interesting.
The signature thing is like Ken's Smokehouse pork chop is like dope. And the owner of it came out and he became a Maker's ambassador because I was a Maker's ambassador.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
You know, and there's a lot of people that don't like Makers, and I get it. You don't.
I like Makers. I think Makers is a great person.
Like it. You might find things that you don't care about it, but you know,
I like all Makers products. I've yet to find a Makers I don't like.
Yeah, but I've talked to plenty of people that don't like a single Makers except for.
I heard the same thing. I'm like, you don't like Makers? That's weird. Yeah. But you're right. I find it from a lot of people that don't like Makers. It's interesting.
Palate, you know, and I'm not.
Yeah, it's fine.
Change your palate. I'm trying to help you enhance how to make something
right.
But I'm telling you right now, if you were sitting here smelling this, you'd be like,
I bet the thing smells awesome. I bet it smells amazing.
It does. You know, I mean, it's weird. It doesn't go away. It doesn't matter how many times I do this. I smell it. So don't wait. Listen, don't spend your money going to buy some stupid shit that costs way too much money. Go to your Goodwill.
Yeah, from Goodwill. Yeah, agreed. It's like a good idea. In fact, there's a Goodwill around the corner from us. So
everything is like, because people that valued things they liked, the younger generation doesn't. They just like, okay, I'll give it away and I'll write it off. But I'm telling you right now, if you take a regular vase like X, it has a knobby thing and you turn it upside down. Depending on what size of glass you're using, make sure it will fit your glass. If this one only fits a small The small.
Yeah.
But I have them for all of them.
Oh, that's cool.
My normal guy that I do for Glencairns is this guy.
No, okay.
And I can put him like that.
Very cool.
Yeah. So get different sizes, get whatever you have, and do whatever. So you can do a couple different things, right? Whether you're doing this or a craft. So if you don't know what a craft is, there's
Like the water one?
Yeah, you don't have to worry about what it is. A carafe is this that has.
Yeah, the thing you put water from, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a lid. You pop it off, you put it in here. So what I do is I will smoke it and I will fill it up. And then if you do it, and everything is about like slow. So if you do this full of smoke and do it slow, very little smoke will ever release. You can pour in it and then cap it.
Okay.
Once you cap it, just set it aside. Every day, come down and do this. Shake it.
Yeah.
For however many days you're going to do it.
I found this.
Okay.
This.
And just
It's in here. It's not in
figure
here.
out your profile, your taste, your blend, or whatever.
Right.
If you like bacon, and let's face it, the Crusaders like bacon. Applewood smoke. Take applewood smoked chips, mix it with mesquite, and the two together make bacon.
Oh, shit.
What?
Thank you. Well, thank you for finding that. I forgot I left it downstairs.
Did you need it?
Yeah, I need that. That would have been bad.
I need it.
Violet found a sample that I left downstairs. Thank you. Thank you for finding that. I appreciate that. I forgot I left that there.
You guys already did that one?
No, it's for St. Patty's Day.
What was it?
Oh, it was the Dare Gaelic Tree 6 from
Okay.
Knockraft Forest.
Hey, Daddy, come here.
Honey, we're still live. I'll look at your game a little bit.
That's the like funny thing. I sit there and I'm usually so happy because I hear that.
Yeah.
And I usually tell people, I was like, listen, the best years of your life when you're raising kids are before they graduate high school. Because once they do, you have no control. You can see the train wreck coming, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. So
Hold on, Violet.
my excuse to that is, hey, drink up, because you can't do anything about it.
Jim, you have no idea. There's so many samples around this house, and I'm like, and bottles in general. I don't know where stuff is. I'm like, it's here somewhere. Hell, there's a bottle of 18-year Macallan floating around this house somewhere. I still haven't found. We had an event with them like shit. That was before we even had channel. What was that? Early 2019, like January 2019. I still haven't found that bottle. Who knows where it got stuck on that night when it got closed down? There was 120 people here. It's got stuck somewhere. I just don't know where. Somewhere. Who knows? Someday I'll find it.
Yeah, and that's always like the weird thing is like, where's all my shit at? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. It's like the next day, I'm like, I don't know. People put shit back in different boxes. Like, shit, I don't know what the hell this box it got stuck in. Yeah, at 16, they turn into assholes.
no, it gets worse at 19.
Great.
16's fine. 19? No, 19's worse.
Breathing get cool again.
19's worst.
Yeah, that's correct, Emily. I think we're finding and retrieving a kid. That is correct. Oh, it's too funny.
When you go through like 19, you don't have like any leveraging to do that.
Yeah, because then they're technically adults.
Well, they think they are.
At least, yeah, exactly. I guess it's technically adults.
Yeah, you're like,
They act like adults. No.
I'm going to do this because I feel like you made me do this. I was like, I've never really cared what you did. I just want you to get a job so I don't have to pay for you.
Exactly. It's like I'd like you to get off of my my wallet and get on your own. That'd be great.
Yeah, it would be really nice if I wasn't making your car payment, your insurance payment, and your cell phone payment. That'd be great.
Yeah. That'd be fantastic.
Are you
Well, that's a lot of money. What do you expect me to do? I was like, I don't know, get a job. Go ahead and get a job. I think that would be spectacular. And tell me to F off and prove to me you can do it. Oh, what
Yeah.
what a blessing.
What? Hold on 1 second. She's going to be unrelenting. I'll be right back
Yeah, you're good.
to see what she needs. I'm sure it's some video game thing. What do you need?
So I think the thing that's always important is
Okay,
take
so
the time to figure out why you like what you like,
we're done now?
what you like. It's easy to say I like something.
Okay, what?
Why do you like it? Is it because it's a high rise? Is it because it's a weeder? Is it because it's high proof?
All right,
And
thanks.
then figure out if you have something you don't like, how can I make it be something I do like? And just with that.
It was very important. She got a unicorn to ride in roadblocks. Super important.
Hey, listen, all that's important at some point.
Yes. She has. How many pets do you have?
like 50.
50 pets?
Yeah.
I keep telling him, if you had really had 50 pets, there'd be poop everywhere. It'd be horrible.
That's true.
Unless you have like a giant farm, and still be crap everywhere. You had a bunch of cattle, but at least that's outside, not inside your house.
Not inside. Yeah, you can't have stuff inside.
Who likes it all?
But yeah, this JD is really fucking good.
3 graduate college and a 15-year-old home. See, you're almost done, Mike.
I
Just
have
out.
I have 4 college loans, so hey.
Fun.
So if you feel sympathetic to the 4 college loans, Patreon Bourbon Battalion, PayPal.me/Bourbon Battalion. I do everything I do on my own, plus 4 college loans.
There you go. So Whiskey Samurai wants to know, what would you do to fix the Peerless Rye other than age it more? Because I know it's only, I guess, the new one's 3 or 4 years old, depending which ones you get. Hell, the original ones were 2.
Well, I think you can do like if you're okay with the spice and you're okay with the heat that comes with it, take a better. So he was like JD Rye, right? He said, so that was Whiskey Zuki, right?
Whiskey Samurai, yeah.
Yeah, he's Whiskey Zuki on Instagram, but so he was doing Jack Daniels single barrel rye. Was he doing single barrel rye?
It doesn't say single barrel rye, but you said Peerless, so they have them, sure.
He said Peerless. So I think that you need to like add, if you're okay with the rye spice notes and the high heat that comes with a rye, you know, between your like high spices and your mints and all the stuff you get there. If you like that, then I think that you could take like a Jack Daniels. And it's weird you'd say that, but like Jack Daniels single barrel rye might give it some oomph and bring it up, because JD's single barrel rye was really fucking good. The Peerless, I'm just not on board. I think it was like way overhyped. I bought like a 375 of it, and I was like, why did I even buy the 375? I didn't really care for it. But you can take like, it depends. So if you're looking for, you want to oomph it up and make it bigger than it is, I would say add 1-for-1 Jack Daniel's single barrel rye. If you want a fruiter note, you know, because rye is going to give like a mint, like fruity note. Off the top of my head, I'm leaning towards like a maybe take that with a Wild Turkey 101 rye. Because I think Wild Turkey 101 rye is that guy that's been like left out in the dark. No one's talking about. That's probably out there as one of the best ryes that no one wants to talk about.
Especially for well, it was gone from the market for a while and it came back. And it is a harder one to find. When you do find it, it's always like 30, 35 bucks. It's a cheap rye, but it's a good rye.
It's
Hell, that's one of our best viewed videos, to be honest, is that one.
Yeah, there should be more about it because it's a really good rye. But if you want to figure out how do I blend that with a really good rye, I can tell you right now if you're asking me what is my favorite rye out the door, straight up, there's nothing I've had better for my palate, right? My palate is Wild Turkey Rare Breed rye.
Oh, shit's delicious.
Wild Turkey Rare Breed rye, I think the only thing that's comparable is Michter's limited release barrel proof rye. But the difference is they're
way harder. Yeah.
They're equal for goodness, but they're absolutely opposite for taste profile. They didn't taste the same. So I did a tasting with a local guy who I think is really good, Scott Peters. Scott Peters is a steward. We were sitting there talking about it. I was helping him cut down trees. I finally had someone to find me a Wild Turkey Rare Breed rye because it's impossible to find here. We were tasting it around the fire pit after we dropped a bunch of trees. And he's like, dude, I think this would be really an interesting thing to try with this. So he came down with his Michter's toasted barrel rye. And we put them side by side. And we both thought they were equally as good, but completely different. So if you want to have an interesting flight of two, right? I'm like a skirmish. It's like Ali Fraser. Wild Turkey Rare Breed rye, which nobody has reviewed.
The Wild Turkey Rare Breed rye. We reviewed it when it came out. Yeah.
I must have missed it, but it was
like a year ago. It's been a while.
There's not very many.
No, it was last July or August. It was a while ago.
Yeah, I know when I got it because I'm a turkey fan. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a turkey fan. I haven't had many things that I don't like turkey. And we dropped a tree and I had it unopened bottle. And between that day and the next day with my brother, it was gone. I was like, where am I going to get it again?
I like it a lot.
I've never found it again. I've been like on the hunt. I've literally said like, hey, what are you looking for? I was like, Wild Turkey Rare Breed rye.
Oh, you need another one? I can make that happen.
Dude, I'm telling you right now.
I know a place where they live.
If you can find a Wild Turkey Rare Breed rye, we need to chat because I can't find it. Can't find it in Ohio. And I've been chatting with everybody. And
I know a place they live.
Yeah.
They let me go see things. It's all good.
Desperately in need of a Wild Turkey Rare Breed rye. It is so good. I mean, literally, like, so good.
Yeah, that's pretty. I know where they live. It's easy to come by. No, it's not, but it is for me.
Yeah, but we'll talk. We'll talk. I mean, like, there's things that's easy to come by, but for me.
Right, because the 107, you can get that super easy. Exactly.
I can get 107 all day long. I'm giving one away tonight. How many people are in the running? Like 6?
Something like that.
Yeah, you know what? That's because, you know what? Welcome to the 6.
Swami, that does sound good. I could definitely eat that. That sounds delicious. A club sandwich would be great.
Oh, at this point in time, I could literally eat anything and be okay.
On sourdough, it does sound good. Oh, a Monte Cristo, oh, those are delicious. Those are like heart attacks, I think, pretty much. They're delicious, but they're like fucking.
It depends on what Monte Cristo you have, but Monte Cristo is like dope.
Like the shit. Remember back in the day when Bennigan's had them? Oh my god, they were so good. They're so bad for you.
It's raspberry And the only thing you know is raspberry and toasted sourdough.
So good.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Ridiculously good.
I can remember that's the only thing I ever ordered from Bennigan's. What do you
Oh.
want? That.
Such a sad thing they went out of business. It sucks.
So, like some of the decor, I used to do on the business side something with Bennigan's.
No, cool.
I had one shutting down in my area. I was like, I'd really like this decorations that they had on the wall. It's like, oh yeah, we'll give you that to you. I was like,
Cool. That worked. Yeah, my cousin, they're in the arcades and call like the disc. The whole fucking the discs and the machines and record. What the hell are those things called? Jukebox. Of course, now they're digital jukeboxes, but yeah, I guess when Bennigan shut down, a bunch of his machines were locked up at Bennigan's, and he was not pleased. So it was a pain in the ass. Lost money on that deal.
Man, that is so good. The Jack Daniel's single barrel swag.
Yeah, a regular rare breed's not what it used to be either. Regular rare breed's good. The old rare breeds from back in the day, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, holy crap, were those amazing. Today's stuff is good, but not what it used to be. But that's Wild Turkey in general. It's not what it used to be.
Well, things are going to change. You think about
they changed multiple things. They changed their fermentation tanks and stuff. So I mean that from wood ones to stainless steel. So I mean that alone made a difference. You don't get all the bacteria and stuff in those anymore that you get in there. And then they're all super clean now, where you used to leave crap in them, and it's what gave it that flavor. It is what it is.
I want crap in mine.
Exactly. I want crap. I want
that like really weird hawk that ended up in your barn. They're like probably
exactly. Well, it's kind of like we get stuff from
but the hawk just got done eating like the cat next door.
I have one that's got trying to find the one.
Well, I should say cat because cats like haters.
Yeah, like this hubris was. This is an unfiltered hubris that was directly poured from the barrel to this bottle.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but there's floaties and crap in there.
Yeah, it's like
beautiful.
It's rich and dark and beautiful. No.
Nope, we got another one from Jim Morris. All right, let's see here. All right, this is a great, interesting launch. I'm definitely going to make some friend now. Oh, and make it 7. Thanks, Jim Morris. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'll bring it here.
Yeah. And Jim, you always got to want to go out and try to figure out how do you make something your own. Don't be shy about trying stuff. It might be like shit the first time you try it, but just keep adding. What you like, taste what you like. If there's a different complexity of things that you're like, hey, I really like these,
I don't want to fix this.
and be comfortable trying to figure out how do I make this taste the way I like it.
I'm not scared of this knife. It's not that soft.
You have to do an operation on this calculator. I don't know what's there. Okay. I don't know if it's going to work anymore, but I closed it. No, it still it works. You're good. It still works. 6 times 6 is 36. I'm sure the calculator will tell you the same thing.
So we're at 12:32. You need to let Donald know how many people were in it. How many different people were in the chat so I can guess a number?
I think it was 7.
Oh, that's okay. They got a 1 in 7 chance of winning Antique 107, and
there you go.
That weren't there. Hey, you know what? You should have been.
Have you smoked one of those Jack Daniel barrel proofs at all?
No.
Oh, you should do that.
I know what I would do it with right now. I would do a blend. I would do a blend smoke.
That would be good.
Because I can tell you right now on the nose, are you on Jack Daniels right now?
No, I was drinking Iron Root.
This right here has a weird note that smells very similar to a smoke. It smells very mesquite.
Yeah, you're right. There is one on that. I don't Yeah, they're definitely some kind of a smokiness to them.
Really strong mesquite nose.
Mhm.
If you took that and did an applewood, I think if you did an apple, if I did an applewood maple blend, I think that would like put it somewhere in the wheelhouse of someone that wasn't a high proofer.
It works.
Because you know this is a pretty high proof. Yeah, what? 131.3.
Mm.
I think it would bring it down to like if I did just straight applewood,
Mm.
I think you would probably guess it for like a 110.
Wow, that's crazy. Now, is it just this? Now, does the actual proof end up changing on you, or is it just simply it seems like it changed?
Seems like it changes because I make sure it doesn't. I don't ever let any of the condensation go away. I shake it, I get it back. It could possibly because I'm doing a decanter, and my decanters are built to be decanters, so your decanter should not be gasket sealed. If
Yeah.
gasket sealed, then it's never going to release. A decanter should release.
Okay.
And so I think it would be like somewhere down to like maybe it would taste about thanks, Adriana. But I think the thing is that you take this JD,
Yeah.
it would move down to I think it dropped about 10 proof points.
Okay.
Like you would think it was something different. And I'm not trying to change that part. I don't think I would do that, but
Yeah, you just want to see what it would add to it. Sure.
but I think there's a chance that if I would not do mesquite because it already smells like that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think applewood. I think applewood would soften it because like if you
Yeah, I agree.
smell it, you have this like weird twinge. And I always think it's like, you know, and I'm just being honest. I could come over like what technically I would say, but to me, it's just a twinge. You're smelling this, it would take that away. It would soften it. You'd be like, wow, that's pleasant.
All right. We saw some whiskey mouse, Adriana. Awesome to see Bobby here on tonight. Blending is a whole different level. So thanks, Adriana. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Adriana. And
Let's see. In
how she
Jim.
does in the mountains out there in Utah is really good.
Yeah, my brother was stationed out there at Hill back in the day. Let's see here. Have you ever tried iron root hubris or any iron root in general?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not privy to iron root or a lot of the Texas stuff in Ohio. You know, and I've tried, but trying to get it is like iron root for me. Like so, the two things for me: iron root out of Texas and smoke wagon out of Vegas are like you guys trying to get Weller and Pappy.
Yeah, most places that's true.
I can get Weller and Pappy.
Yeah.
But I can't get smoke wagon to save my life. You would think smoke wagon is like the second coming of whatever.
Yeah.
But I tell you right now that JD, if you was to pour that Jack Daniel's single barrel select,
yeah,
it smells like what I would expect mesquite to smell like. And it's weird because it's not, but it smells. It has a really high olfactory nerve, like spice, pungent, like it has a high nose. It has a nice. If you wanted to smell that down and taste it, it would be applewood. Applewood would change that.
That would be fun.
I want you to send me TX so I can make you think it like really good, and it's not.
I think that would be interesting. That would be, God, it would be the best if you did it. Made it seriously, and then I take it over to Rob, their master distiller, and say, "Hey, Rob, this is how it should taste."
You know what? I'll send like you send it to me, and I'll send you 2 samples each.
Okay,
One for you and one for him. Because I have
entertaining.
an idea of what I should do based on what you said. Because I thought that you would pick that Dickel 12 blend in H. Wait, was it?
Yeah,
Yeah, was it H or G?
yeah. The
G.
yeah, G. Yeah, G is really good. The problem with TX bourbon is just get this really funky off note that's just not good. I just don't like it. I've yet to really find people that do like it.
I can change it.
Well, that would be great if you can fix that note. That would be amazing.
Well, I don't think I can. I know I can. You know, I like I said before. Someone's like, what kind of train do you have? Well, nothing. I just have a brother.
It's an experiment, and you've done it enough
I have
times to
an
do it. You know what it does.
older brother that, you know, as a younger brother, you're always trying to be like, hey, how do I measure up? And now I've advanced, and he's like, wow, that's amazing. I was like, well, yes, this. And it's just the idea of figuring out how do you blend this. And, you know, it wasn't like something I did overnight. I spent a lot of time sitting there thinking like, so like when Dusty Dan told me, I want you to make this blend. My Old Forester 1920, which is my favorite drink, and make it barbecue ready. I knew it has to be this. So I know he's not watching because it's late.
Yeah, because it's 12:40 where he lives.
I'm not gonna spoil it, and I don't think he'll rewatch it. So if you look at it, right, I don't know if you can see that, but what it is it's Old Forester 1920 smoked with mesquite and applewood that was blended. So the smoke was blended, and I'm not going to send it until after it's been blended and put in the canister for over a month. So March 17th, I'll pour it. He'll get it like March probably 20th.
Okay.
And but if you take like, you know, you think of like you've had some mesquite, right? You're in Texas. You've definitely had mesquite.
Okay.
But you think of the thing that you've had mesquite, right? It's usually in the steak world.
Right.
But you think of applewood, that was the bacon world.
Right.
You mix them.
Yeah, makes sense.
It smells. I had someone that doesn't know of anything about anything. And he was like, he literally came over and I said, hey, tell me what you think this is. And he literally just, it was like the funniest thing ever. He opened it up and he went, barbecue.
Interesting.
And I was like, yep. And so it's like, it doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm talking about. It's just that.
It's just experiment. It's just, you know, experience doing it.
Tasting. It's just trying.
Exactly. That's all it is. It's just for any of us that do whiskey really well. It's simply doing this for over and over and over for a really long time. Ends up doing that.
Well, I don't want to sit there and say, okay, I want to have X because of this. And it'd be okay. This is really good with this, but it could be so much better if I did this. So why would I not choose? That's like saying, hey, I could invest in a stock market, and this guy is going to give me a 0.5 return. But this dude's going to give me like a 20% return. Why would I take one over?
Yeah, for real.
You know, so just the thing is, you don't have to trust me. You don't have to trust Matt. You have to trust your palate. What are the things that sound good to you? When you blend it, well, that doesn't taste like it. Okay, well, what's it need? What do you need to add? And just believe in yourself. Because you can do like I'm telling you right now, I've done some blends that people have came back and said like, dude, that was. I will probably always blend that.
Definitely. Oh,
That was good. So where are we at? As
see,
far as,
11:45. We got 7 people.
do you want to have
Oh,
Donald?
it's 12:45 for you.
Well, I mean, I can go all night, but we have a model to give away.
That, and I have to work on a thumbnail and
Yeah.
go to and do shit around my house and go to bed because I have to work in the morning.
So,
All that shit.
so at I guess our biggest point that would be after I said I was giving away a bottle,
Mm-hmm.
we need to figure out how many people there were so I can give a number.
And is it still 7 or is it? It might be 8 now. Hey, Donald, is it 8 now? He'll tell us here in a second.
And Donald's a dude. I've talked to Donald a couple times.
Yeah. So apparently, Daniel is saying 8 now. That the Iron Root Evolution bottle, which was for cast strength, a case of it got lost, and apparently to Marshall. And I know, like in the second evolution, its case went to Paris, but apparently he found it, so that's good. Yeah, because I talked to Josh, so I need to, and I know they're up, I think, at the distillery. So because I have 1 and 2 of that evolution bra, I need to get the third one, so I have all 3, so we can try them all together. But I guess we'll see. I'll talk to Robert about that tomorrow, and Josh, but we'll see. So yeah, we got 8. So yeah.
All right. So of the 8 that are still there, number 4.
All right. So who's number 4, Donald? We shall see momentarily. Who is the winner of a new Weller Antique?
Gold foil.
It's like gold.
Well, gold foil is different, right? I know
Yes.
that doesn't seem like it matters, but it does.
But it does.
It does.
Because Buffalo Trace says it does. Pretty much is the reason.
Well, gold foil tells you it's a cork.
Yeah, that's true too.
I don't know that that's really significant to me, but I know that if you look at it when you price point it, it's more expensive.
I would love some samples of the bottling of number 3. That would be fantastic. I have batch 1 and batch 2, Daniel, but batch 3, yeah, I would love to try batch 3. That's the one I don't have. That's the one I need. Yeah, if you want to send me an email, Daniel, it's whiskeycrusaders3@gmail.com, and that'd be fantastic. Yeah, so we can get Josh to come on and talk about it. It'll be fun.
You'll have to let me know, Matt, who it is, because I don't see all the chats.
All right, so let's see who the winner is. All right, Don, who is the winner for number 4? I guess I'm sure he has to do the, put it in a little spreadsheet and then run it through and randomize and all that good fun stuff. So it's always fun. Hey, at least it's easy with 8, because I know like when Jason has, he'll have like 150 in there. And it takes a while. 8's easy.
Well, for me, it's
all right, Mike Franklin.
Mike
all right, congratulations, Mike.
So, Mike Franklin, you need to send me your information, Bourbon Battalion at gmail.com. Let me know your information, where to send it. I'll send you a brand new gold foil Antique 107. And thanks for watching.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. We appreciate it, Bobby.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Mike. It'll be great times. Like I said, next week will be Glendalough. I know we're doing some giveaways from the distillery next week, too, so it'll be fun. I don't know what Dolan, he's their owner. He'll be on here. Or, sorry, Donald.
So, Matt, what are your normal... So, this is like from a guy out coming into the tubes.
Mm-hmm.
I've said this to a couple people. trying to figure out when everybody's go-to time is
Mm-hmm.
really hard.
If you go onto Discord, there's actually a channel that tells you when they're all on.
Where's it at on Discord?
It is. Let me see real quick.
I'm on
It is at. Let's see on Discord. You go to the. Oops, damn it.
Not the bar.
No, it's not the bar. If you go to the section called Whiskey Tube, and the first one in the Whiskey Tube section is Whiskey Tube schedule, and that tells you when everybody's on.
What? Yeah, learning shit every day, Matt. Thanks.
No problem.
Because like I was sitting there, it took me like months to figure out when are time slots available. So
Yeah, pretty much.
I do like my normal like something whiskey on Tuesdays at 7:30.
Yeah.
But Wednesday at 7:30 is always my Wednesday blend day. I
Sure.
always blend nothing but blends. But Tuesday, so this Tuesday is going to be a cask fight.
Cool.
Blind cask fight between A121, Woodenville cask, and other cask. Trying to figure out, and I will give out whatever I think is number one. I'm not going to try to sit there and say this is this or this or that. It's like, what do I think is the best? And so we have that coming up tomorrow. And then Wednesday will be Blends Day. It's always Blends Day. And Friday, I'm doing a segment on Instagram because there's a really, really good human that is a former U.S. Person that's in the UK, so she has bipartisan, and she's the sarcastic whiskey wench, but she's
Okay.
but the same thing is that I think the thing that's important is that I seek out like really good humans, people that are for me it's like if you were in the first responder, you signed on the dotted line to take care of people. If you're in the military, you take care of international people, and then there's people that just take care of their own family. And there might be like trials and stuff in their own family, but they do it with grace that you don't know it. And she is that. She is just a spectacular human that does not get any credit because she doesn't seek it out, but she deserves it. So this Friday, we're going to do an introduction blending on Instagram, IGTV, between the Bourbon Battalion and the sarcastic whiskey wench, between bourbon to whiskey and whiskey to bourbon.
Okay, very cool.
It will be a blend.
And then Colin wants to know if you know Matt Booth at Room 101 Cigars. He's a Marine and started his cigar company in LA many years ago. You know who that is?
I do know who he is. Yeah, I know exactly who he is.
Awesome. All right, everybody. We will see you all next week. It's been an awesome time. Bobby, thank you very much.
Let me on,
All right, we'll see you guys on next week. All right.
Yep.